I am back here. Sorry, I had to go and then come back. It was necessary. Hope you are doing well. I don't know how my sauti is. The devil is waiting for you in the corner while we are running. He's waiting so bad. But remember, the race is not to the what? To the weak, to the swift, or the race is not to those who run very fast. Run at your pace. Don't run at any other person's pace. Hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please you let me know. It's a Saturday. Sorry, you won't be hearing music for now. Tuyina okumuyiiya ayagala tayagala. That is Uganda for you. That is Baby Gloria on the mix. Rachivasinda. You won't be hearing music for some time. Because Facebook yalowooza ajja kunkubanga bw'ayagala. Kati olina okubanga wasukka wookoma. Happy to see you, Martin. So we will be in a silent disco. I don't know whether my voice is out there, but I'm having trouble with my health. But kyonna gye kiri tujjayitawo. It's just Baby Gloria on the mix. Omubbi tugenda kumukwata tumukube ku mutwe buli lwebabba ebintu byo nga obuuza lwaki wano wakalubya okuyitawo ng'omanya waliwo omubbi bw'aba tali mu famire yo ali mu mikwano gyo atuula bulijjo ayagala oba ali eyo mu nsi gye wagenda gye wawaŋŋankira. Oyo Baby Gloria ku mix ali ku deck ndi mu riot. Eno bagiyise Saturday. You'll excuse me, I'm not well, but wonna tujayitawo. Tuyisaawo mpaka. Bwe weesaasira ogenda fiira mu lutalo. If you save a life, you can change the world. Baby Gloria on the mix. Buli lw'oyamba omuntu omu bw'ati. Oba ogenda kuyamba nsi namba. Because tomanyi muntu oyo kyagenda kubeera. Bw'oba oli taata ng'olina abaana abawala n'abalenzi. Leero ndukuwadde dedication. To those who ng'oli mu town, n'otuuka nga music tomuwulira ng'oteekako owuweeyo ng'ozina ebibyo. Eno bakuba kibooka eyange bannene owakabina akanene afambooko. Nina akabina akanene mwanatu. To all kings out there in Uganda, Chabazinga webusoka. Kabaka Mutebi Muwenda Mutebi. Abetoro. And they were all young boys when they were put on their seat. Kabanyumire, kabanyumire, kabanyumire. Buganda, thank you for looking for me for 60 years. Mwali munoonyezaako ekyambalo. Ne mukizuula nga kiri mukazi. Because originally kyali kya mukyala. Taata we yamwambaza twi omwana bamuzala nga bamwambaza diaper. Ate netugenda ebusoga netubawa kyabazinga tuli bakitale. Season yakubeera happy to the kyabazinga obusoga. Tuyitawo bajjajja abo baali bakabi abakyala baali bakyala okuba kiboko. I got an opportunity to meet the sister to your great-great-grandmother, the one who got married to Kadumbula. So you carry the name with honors. No, Fuluma. Tuyitawo. Buganda, Musaga, tuyitawo. Mulwanira mwanyi. Bajajja fa abakyala basimbe mwanyi. On all sides. Got an opportunity to see them. Awumule mirembe. Namboze Loida. Awumule mirembe. Namboze. Ludia. Because those two women, they are both my great-grandmothers. Loida on my mom's side and Lydia on my dad's side. But Loida started with Natural Solomon, the names I carry. So she was younger. Because my mom is 7 years younger than my dad. Kona. Engo. Abengo bonna gye muli. Mutebya bakojjange kubanga avamba muteesa asira. Pasi mwagamba si Muganda oba mwakulirawa. Taata wo baba Muganda gobaki. Taata wo baba Musoga obaki. Nze kati ndi ku pure level. Sisiri mixed. Taata wange musajja Muganda. Ne mmange mukyala Muganda. Omanyi bajjajjaabe emirembe emeka. Tobamanyi sorry. To the boys marrying girls out there, mubuzo ovaawo ajja kwetikka bye tosobola. Someone manyi Katonda bwakulondera omuntu akwagala. He made me laugh yansanga nali nkaawa ngate ndinzeka nangamba kunyumiza kikoze nangamba kunyumize ne mugamba nyumya nangamba nabuuza sister wo namugamba amubuuza ki namugamba lwaki nze nali manyi kimye kawala ka Dawudi lwaki mwampa enjovu mu kaveera ofuna mukwano gwo ng'omuntu mukwano gwo ozinawo buzi. Boys, don't hide who you are so that you help omukyala gwo wasiza. And girls, don't hide. Ebyo basenga bamwe bababulirira bya kiyaayi. Yeah. Ze kubulira senga obya kugamba omusajja tomugamba. Bwe kinaaba kibalya mu nnyumba senga otajja kubaayo. Basenga bedda be bakanga n'abasajja b'abannaabwe. And we still have a culture doing that. So be careful. One of my aunties yambuuza omwanya amanyi ebikukwatako. Ne mugamba ye nyabo. Wali abaddeko mu bulamu nga abeewamwe bakuba emikwano gyo ne gikuba ekkanisa nekuba ne internet nekukuba kati oba tolina gy'olaga oba wed sikwekukuza nasazawo kati neŋŋamba kati kankole byenjagala after all obagamba nti oli mubbi oba bw'obagamba nti oli mubbi oba mubbi nina bakwano bange bangane Esther omubbi akuberere kine mugabwoleka yabba ebyange yanziba nga sinagenda mu luuto lw'amanda naye kinsanyusa byonna bye nnina abantu bye basingiseyo n'embifuna katonda ina gwakozeseza. Abadde nseka yesterday, was it yesterday nga ngamba my relative yafunira air ticket. Namugamba go wateeka ku nnyonyi. Oteeka dotale ennyonyi negende Brussels. Wali oteeka coach. 9 hours Brussels. Nga tulangaze mudugavuze kakwolo. Nagamba yeno airport nabati. Bati waliwo omusumba mukwano gwange yali amaze okuŋŋamba. Some years back, actually, nali mu S4, I think. Gamwita Pastor Victor James Ruwama. Nali mu S4 nangamba nti ogenda kutambula amawanga. Oli mukisa mu nyumba ya tatawo. Nangamba ogenda ninene ekitabo nakituma omuntu akindetera kuva eka kyabula. Nali ndabiwandika wansi. Nali mu S4 at a time. Bwe basi S4 nali mu S6. S6 nali mu 2003. Nangamba nti ogenda kulinnya ku airport nga gwe omudugavu yekaaliko. That day natuka Brussels nga abaddugavu tebazze. Omudugavu gwe nalaba yali black American yatuuka naleti nga yeegaya yali muwala. Baamuboggolera ku nnyonyi. Yaboggolera flight attendant. Flight attendant be Belgium malaba edduka. Omusajja amugamba sijja kukola kuyogera bulungi. Natula ku nnyonyi eyo n'ensirikirira bwe nti yali one way ticket. Kwanga travel Entebbe ne tugwe e Rwanda. I had traveled before, but nga mpita wansi. I traveled and went to Nairobi in 98. Byali bya Sunday school. And I won for Uganda because I'm good. My father did an amazing work with me ne mama wange when it comes to scriptures. Then I won for Uganda. I won on behalf of Uganda, so Uganda won. I've always won things for Uganda. Scriptures. I remember twali thika. I fainted a thika. It was very cold. And it was my first time to go to. That's how I was introduced to traveling abroad. And that is something I've done with my friends and family. We choose a child and we send them to travel to represent others. Like we took Watomano Mwati. We wanted to take two kids in Japan on my dad's side and on my mom's side. But Madam Tam Oil, a Charlie call, but I'll be fine. And I wanted to introduce two boys to the outside world. Because for jet kulida, but we're not your family. Kwanga tuli banji, sometimes you don't need to be around other people. Because they want to take it. So I was like, that's how I was introduced to the outside, to the outside Uganda. It was through Sunday school. So I was like, okay. And I was introduced to camping through Church of Uganda. But camping was already in the family because of the late Dan Chigozi. I remember in December if it wasn't, I think it was 96, if it's not 93, 96. No, it was 93. We went to Budo, King's College Budo, Church of Uganda, Scripture Union of Uganda, the Scripture Union around the world. They organize camps. Now, Scripture Union Uganda would organize camps in December, so my parents were able to pay. And because it was 93, because I was a religious leader, I was active in school. When they chose kids, I was part of it, even if I could not afford. If you have a child, let them be active. Teach them things. You might not afford a camp. Lately, it's easy to afford certain things because now lately our generation, we are working parents. Introduce your child to another something strange or something. Omwana tomugalira. Omwana mubulire bubulizi mazima mutule, have a conversation. I'm humbled that I grew up in a family where tebatkweka the outside world. My dad did not do that because my dad beba munakukama. Omunakukama kitegeeza mulekwa. omuntu ng'afiiriddwa ekigambo munaku tekitegeeza mwavu bazadde bo bwe bafa oba omuntu yenna akulabirira bw'afa ng'ofuuka munaku waayi obeera mulekwa oba olekeddwawo. Now the people who are going to take care of you, very few people will love you the way your parents love you. So Tata was on his own. Yes, he was in family, but when his auntie, your auntie aba representing Tata o singa senga wayogera ekigambo kyonna. The word senga senge singo singa sesimye, like you always in that wish singa cause Tata wa agenze singa like your sisters. Do you involve the lives of your children? Never sisters. Oh yes, we have friends naye bw'ofa mikwano gyo kyebayinza okukolera ennyo ekinene waaba kwagala nnyo kwekugulira coffee n'okukolera t-shirts n'okugula ebimuli n'okuwa speech ez'obulimba. Tuli bakitalo nnyo in lying about our friends nga bafudde. That experience njirina. I've seen my friends nga bo bazifuula reunion eno nga mutambula tebagala kumanya. Nze nina abantu abangamba gwe Esther bw'otaba mulwadde toba na ssente ne mugamba muzeeyi nangamba kufuna omusajja anti bankwanye neŋŋaana nze ndi wakitalo nga bwe nerowoozaako. Why? Because I knew what I wanted. I'm a girl who was taking care of my father, and I'm a girl who was very private. One time I wrote something, some of my memories, expressing my affection towards my family on social media. My brother now, Andika Nagamba, Esther, what's going on? You've never done this publicly. What's up? I am full of surprises and love. Surprising people I love. That is me. So I just kept quiet and laughed about it. It became a reminder. The same. Some people didn't know that I'm private. I am a very private person, and I give you what you want to hear. Though sometimes I'm very stubborn. If you want, when you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer I know. But if you ask me and you want a particular answer and I don't have it, I will not give it to you. When I'll keep quiet. Especially me and my brother. My dad used not to quarrel with people. My dad tells you one thing and he keeps quiet. There is a time, the 35th anniversary of my dad. They are now 40 years. That was 2019. The anniversary is normally on the 21st of January. January is one of a big month in the family because that month my grandfather was born on fast. My auntie, the sister to my dad, with whom they share father and a mother, she was also given birth on that same day. Me, when my family members don't know their date of birth, their age, especially Abakulu, I ask, which year were you born? Then they're like, they don't know. Then I'm like, which month? Then if they have children, I use their children and I ask, how old were you when you got pregnant? That's how we got Jaja's age. My grandmother, the mother to my dad. People are hiding the truth and it's affecting us so bad. And people who are benefiting, they're just thieves. But when you go into history and you find out how you were given birth to ogenda kunyiga naeza munange skuli nako buzinyiga nga boyagala ochitegedde kitto ekyo. There are people who are getting things that they don't qualify for. Kati ate nga abantu abamanyi amazima bafudde abala balina dementia. So I was called a thief, I was called a homewrecker, I was called a family destroyer because I carried the truth, because I was given a mantle before I was even given birth to. How did I get it? They chose the mother to my dad. My great-grandmother chose her. But my grandfather had already chosen her. Parents, I want you to be careful when you're choosing spouses for your kids. Ogenda kuleta ebizibu. Move mu connection. Musabe. Ebyo byokubanga wesoka abaana b'abanno mwana tebikola. Nsobanje abanyigira. Because people have tried to connect me to their sons. Because they know who I am, they know my parents, they know where we come from, they know how we do it. Please don't temwesoka abaana b'abannammwe. Ogenda kwesoka omuwala gw'olabye mu social media ogende ne sitaani eka. the day when you know the truth kigenda kuyamba cause ogenda kula nga tozaala naye ate owasa omuwala nga tozaala kyokka bw'ogenda ne weebaka ebbali ogenda kuzaala ogenda kutunula nga jjajjawo gw'otaalabako amanya ge baakutuuma because it's a bloodline issue. It's a bloodline issue. I carry my great-grandparents in an amazing way when it comes, I'm talking about the bloodline. The challenge tulina mukkiririza nnyo mu bintu eby'ekisiru. Nze simanyi gye mwakulira, simanyi ani yabasomesa. Omuntu bw'akula amala n'afa naye bw'afa ebirabo byalina bisigala ku the next in line, bisigala mu baana be. Naye omuntu alonda omusika. Waliwo abalondo omusika physically, waliwo abalondo omusika in the spiritual realm. My great-grandmother wanted either my dad or my auntie to have children who takes the mantle. It was never about physical things. When you listen to our history, Ali is so beautiful, very rich. Naye atali mama ziga manji, and that's what the devil wants. Kati because I carry the mantle, jiba migo na miranga kati abalala ne bakweka obwerere bwabwe kubanga tibagala kuva mu position kubanga tulina abantu betumanyi nga family members naye nga amazima gali nti blood mye nga n'empisa neneyisa nga mubikungu ngali mu family tosaaga na kusaaga mwana nga sirina we muyita naye jjajja yagamba my great-grandmother sat down her daughter, the names are Kari Nachimera Solomon Wama, but her name Nachimera is single. Omanyi bw'obanga tomanyi kintu obutamanya tebukugisaako musango tobeera musirusiru kutuuka ku ekyo because you're going to give birth to kids ng'ozaala abaana ba kika eki lwaki lwa mumwa ogenda kulokoka ebyo bituwoza twalokoka twajjula omwoyo mukwano deliverance tomutegeera ng'ekyabasiba nnyoko yagenda avuma nnyazaala we nga gwe kennyini wagenda ovuma ssezaalawo ogenda kukumba ebikolimo mukuvumya abakulembeze mukukumba ebikolimo ebyo binyigiraako mu biveemu because ogenda kunyigira tomanyi ogenda kuwuliriza ekiboozi eyo ekyekisiru bikyatambula ebiboozi navaayo nembataasa nze nali ŋŋaanye kubanga sirina bwe mbayita nengenda okulaba nga Mutebi afa neŋŋamba kati Mutebi bw'anaafa tugenda kuddawo nze ng'ekimuluma akimanyi but I had refused to come out nendwala nga ndaba ennyumba eggwawo ate nga Mutebi bw'afa Buganda owed neŋŋamba you know what Esther we all know the problem just come out nga ndaba abaana mugenda kufa abavubuka mukukumuke mwavuma kabaka neŋŋamba lengera obusiru bw'ewammwe ne kitaawo agenda vuma abantu ku kyalo n'ennyoko toyinza kera ku makyalo ovuma abantu bakulu ng'ewammwe temuvuma abantu bwe tukebera mu lineage yammwe your father was abusive nga kuba nnyoko abaana abalenzi nabagamba guno omwezi gwammwe nembasuubiza. Some of you think you can drink jenva tugukola omwenge nina basenga banga bambafa bawala balungi naye nga yakutte yabi ogamba munange Esther tukireke wali osanzeko omuwala omulungi nga nga mweru fere tukwata mu bizigo mukwano omuddugavu aba muddugavu n'omweru aba mweru naye nga yakutte ku yabi My grandmother used to drink. My grandfather used not to drink. My dad's side. Because of what he carried. He knew himself. Do you know how it feels for your child to be terminated because of leadership? Because of a garment? You have rejected them. Why kill them? Buganda. in the season, this is a season. When the season comes, when you see even the ground rejects food. Atikatite mubimanyi, kati no bimanyi otya nga toyagala kusaba, toyagala kusoma current information, olekana bulekanyi, bakutegerera butegerezi, obwongo obunafu. Kagamba botu like you don't reason. No, guys, I'm not telling you, I'm just teaching. I'm just here teaching, I'm doing my PhD. Chief Chakaluye Moko. When Bulurengane Biange Biononeka Buliono Nesi. Malabia Kawakam Tevinga Tambula. He's just 1 year older than my dad. Baza Nyanga Bonamurubiri. But who can tell that? Ngati Wali. Because whenever my grandfather would come back from the UK, ngageni makere ngamteka mu Benz, my dad would sing the Benji, Benji. Then at Lydia, the professor's wife, Lydia Mugambi, Yabumba Mutua, you saw the celebration. I'll repost certain things when they were when she was recognized. They did something to recognize her. So they have started recognizing us slowly by using the people who have served in government, who have served in education. We are good with education. We are good in sports. We are good when it comes to entertainment. We are good. When someone is good at something, you recognize them. I did EIS in Uganda. My dad, because of sports, he went back to school and Chibuli got sciences 49 years ago. Mamusanga busanzi bintu tomanyi byaliwo history balina mufu, because when my tata went to Chibuli, his friend yamugamba Kalibala, you want to go back to school? Namugamba yes. Sengawe yamuwa sente naye yazuwa mutabani we omugwaita Solomon Sengendo, the late Lydia Mugambi Kwadra. Dan Chigos was a second last born. Mubana ba Solome, si mubana ba Luwama. Mubana ba Solome ne Luwama. Luwama had many kids. Na ebyo byajja because Solome had issues with her uterus. Bwoberange yongo onenya abantu nga boyagala. Ngovuma abantu. Nabagambye obosanga nga any family member who looks like me. Jango ovumenze, jango walampenze. Azale kibya kiwongerera. Naye bwe nakukwatako n'abeewammwe. Nze wenkuba ekikonde buuza King Saha. Tojjanga mu kirasi yange n'onoonya content. No, you can. I have no problem with it. But you have to be careful, it's what I mean. Mulwane ebyammwe nze sibalinaako buzibu. Naye toteekanga mu abazadde b'abantu nga mukuba ekikonde kubanga temutumanyi. Bw'oba ovuma bebe muvume bibyo nze sibiriimu. Making sure toteekamu nti oli musiru nga kitaawe. Mbawulira nga mugamba oyo simanya mugamba mutya musiru nga taatawe. Kati owa Baby Wine temumumanyi taatawe. Oyo senta temuvuma senta mumuvuma Bobby. Ne mumuyita Kadingo kubanga ye bakadde be temwabalabako. Ye agenda okujja mu nsi waati bakadde be babeerawo katono. Kati mubeera ku mwami Bidandi ye yazza omusango okuzaala omwana. Oyo Bidandi tumuze bali gwazadde abaana abo abasirusiru abanyawalaji n'abanywa enjaga bazza omusango okuzaalibwa taata omusiru. Omanyi bulijjo bagamba omwana bali buli egamba nti omwana omusirusiru anakuwaza nnyina. Lwaki bagamba nti omwana omusirusiru anakuwaza kitaawe ng'ate ffe tufaanana bataata baffe? Lwaki abeera maama? Kubanga maama yalina n'abaana, maama yazaala, maama yayonsa, maama yalera, kubanga taata agenda n'akola. Lwakuba omulembe gwaffe ebintu byakyuka. Even the girls go on work. Abawala tebakyagala kuyonsa abaana, tulyoka tufuna abaana abasirusiru. Iyo mwana kasita tayonka. Oyetegeka okubeera n'akaana kasirusiru. Eri abantu abatayonka. Nga tamanyi mabeere. Tetulwaki omulaba agenda agwa mu mabeere g'abantu. Ate n'abavumu. Ate n'abakulu. Kati gwe bw'osubira ki? Oyo bw'obanga omunyenye soka n'odda n'obuuza ani maama we ate taata we beesanga wa? Nze bwe mba naakuvuma nina okumanya gy'ova. Nakuvumye Nedambe nga nkubuulirira nze sevuma abantu. Yogge wanvuma. Just is ngamba ko bugambo. Nze ndi musomesa, ndi senga, ndi mama, been like that my whole life. Only that nali sogera because of witchcraft. Because Buganda never wanted my great-grandmother to reincarnate or to re-exist. They wanted to terminate her legacy because of the power we carry, because of the gifts we carry. Totuli mawanga magate. The father to my great-grandmother impregnated a maid. Her sister yamugamba ati mwana nga kyakabi. Nina omuwala wano yazze kola mirimu. Ne kati bakyabikola sagala mwegaano ntunuulire ng'embwa esudde ekide. Naawe olina ka history k'obuuza taata wo bamuzaala bati ate maama wo ebizibu bye mulina nga bingi. Mwawulirako edda abantu nga bagamba nti omusoga azaala omuganda n'omuganda azaala omusoga. Ne mwegaana Buganda mwakulira wa? Ani yabaloga Abaganda mbeerako foolish Galatian. But these are the tribes to because Uganda comes from Buganda. Nemutugamba the first Muganda man is Chintu. Nengamba mulibala the first man is Adam. Adam amutumye Chintu. Chintu abadde for how long? Umanyi olumu mbeereyo nga ngende mbatunulira nga mutudde mbasamize babasomesa nengamba kati ono omusanze tumukolere ki. Naye tamanyi gy'ava. Okujjako okuba bobbi n'obwongo obunafu. Nalaba mu season we nagenda n'ensiriko omusamize n'afubutuka nengamba nfudde ekitiibwa. Mukama nangamba ati nagambye osomesa abantu bange weefuula kafulu. Ne mugamba abantu bo bankuba banvuma buvumu. Nangamba ojja genda. Nengamba sijja genda. Nangamba ojja genda. Ojja genda. Nengamba kale febe. Nenkubwa 2 good years my leg ne guvunda. Okugulu kwange ne kukala ne kuvunda. Yangamba mbibagambe. Musobola okweyamba yamba n'abantu bammwe. Kati bwe nabikugamba n'ogenda n'obyogera obwo byojja kufa wekanze sibiriimu. Obwana bwo bujja kufa. Nze nakugambye nze ndi immigrant. Ojja kufuna kibooko ng'eri special. Muvumya President Museveni mukukumba ebikolimo. Obwavu ne bubaluma buli lwe muvuma omusajja oyo mwongerako nengamba oba bannange mwewamwe musabo gye musabira ate essabo ssabiro tobali tokimanyi Katonda esti mu muzikiti imaamu naye ng'akanula amaaso ng'agamba musabani bw'anaafa nze nja omusajja ayongera kutambula myaka 8 owooza kimwamusa mukwano entebe gye mulwanira nabagamba agirina ndi wano. I choose who to sit on that seat. Kati gwe kuba. Tozanyiranga ku Buganda nze nkubuulira ebyo bye mukanula amaaso ng'ovuma Katikkiro bajja kukuba esabaawo. When it comes to kingdoms, Uganda is not for presidents. It's for kings. The current president, the sitting president. Mukumi wa ntebe. N'entebe gy'akuuma y'abakabaka. Entebe gy'akuuma y'abakabaka si ya president. The Queen of England introduced. The queen that recognized my great-grandfather on my mom's side. The judge. Namyeka nsuula omutesa asira musoke. Atasasula boda mmanya yazasula fees. Magamba mbu mulogo. So when I came out nagamba no mujayo. Ngaba nange oli ne mutana talimwe tana nkalu. Nagamba mugerako. Ngamba atuleke naye teyafa. Nebe nange mutinkiza abafu. Mwinege gye muwe ekitiibwa abafu nze nakkiriza. Omuntu wabeera mulamu teyagalala obulekerwa. Naye bw'afa ekitiibwa kyonna n'okimuweereza kyaki. We just remember them. Ne twebaza emirimu gye baakola. Kati awo nga tuyimba ekitiibwa kya Buganda mwakitegedde. Ekyabusoga temukimanyi mukiyimbe. Abasoga muyimbe ekitiibwa kya Busoga. Abanyolo muyimbe ekyammwe. Yogera olunyolo teweekweka ojja mu Buganda yogera Oluganda ate n'oyogera Oluganda olufu okakana ng'otuwe mudde nga bagoba music wo ku TV ng'oyomba. Muli basirusiru. nedda tudde mu magezi tuddemu ak'obuntu gwe simanya yegwani yani oyo mwagala content temwasoma tufe tubawa ssente ate muleekaani bakyaba recordinga nnyo nze nabagamba nabateeredde akaka because Bobby ye bwayambala kakoti ka Bobby bw'ati abeera MDD atajja bawalula yayingira mu nnyumba ya Mwanga bali bawanga erinnya balise Mwanga bawanga amanya gamagaba kwa kiboko Mwanga protected my great-grandmother because bamanya inception ye eri abazadde n'abakweka ne bagamba no Buganda etta abaana because it was not allowed as a king to go sleeping around like that because the mother to my grandmother was beautiful abasoga twakiriza abasoga mukweka history wachinga yalevako ebizibu. Your genesis is important. If you want a good revelation, make sure you go back into your genesis. There are things you don't want to do. Nenga bijja bikugoberera biveri mba tata otomwagala tata ovuma muvumu nze nakugamba osanga omuntu avuma kitaawe kola nti mugenda onvumira owange nze owange bamuvuma tata wange asobya buuza batambudde ne tata wange. People who went to school with my dad bawulira omuntu amuyita Kalibala ng'omanya atumanyi. Every time they mention my grandfather's name like this, everything rises. Because they buried him in the wrong place. And they quarreled. And he died of an accident that was orchestrated by witchcraft. And his father, KLM, Chikurumi, his father, Luhimbaz, people call him Luwalala. Luwalala was a nickname. Ngabamwanga bibali muwadde. Balwane ye moje mutali. Ebyo babatwala mu kooti. Never muwe erinnya Luwalala because babiyomberamu ne Mwanga. Mwanga n'akanyuga fumu. Bwe yakanyuga fumu, my great grandfather yadduka n'abuka ekikomera n'agwa wansi bw'ati efumu ne limuyitako n'amutuuma Luwalala. Linnya lya lugero. It's a proverb. Kati gole ogenda otambula ozunga yenze Luwalala obadde ki bajja kukuba banno. Names are very funny. You're not a Luwalala. Use the name Luyimbazi. Muyimbe tuyimbe kale n'olwesogeeyo ekiwa kya Buganda tukirinamu tulina gye tukirina naye kiri wala ndowooza tuyimbeko bye tumanyi. Nga tunayimba kitiibwa kya Buganda kanziremu n'olwekyo. A pure king, baba gamba nti pure king ensenene ye muzaala. Balina bye baali bakweka. Kati munange Kabaka Mwenda Mutebi n'agamba tatukole tutya kintu kyatulidde. Mwe mulowooza agenda okuzaala Semakookiro ng'ayagala nnyo. He loves his wife. Omanye mu Muganda mu bakabaka balina bitu babita kina kwesikusisi babita bya wesikise wekoze bye. Kati gogenda kuvayo oyogera ebintu nga tolina mandate kubyogerako. Nze nina olukusa okubyogerako. Gwe tolulina. Gw'olubyogerako nga bakuba ng'obwana bw'obufa nga mu bizinesi etabuka. Nze tebansobola abantu abannoonya dda n'ennywana. Ne bakwata ekigambo tuli waweeru because Sanga Lyambogo almost looks like me and the size. She's just 21. Ne bamutikka omugugu katono gumutuge. Waliwo emigugu gy'otikka banno. Ne mulyoka mutandika toli waweeru. Nekugamba kozesa ekigambo gende ebweru loza abantu. I have friends who have used that word and they've traveled. They are very happy. Nempapula ne bafuna goli oyo kyakanula amaaso ovuma Kabaka. Yongera okumuvuma muvundire ebweru nga teri abawampapula ekyo nze nja kikugamba sigenda kirwamu. Ddamu ovume Katikkiro. Oba ewammwe bavuma abakulu. Njagala mubavume. Because mulimu Nuupu. Nuupu is not a party. They use Nuupu in all countries. They use national unity platforms. Actually, they don't use the word noob. It is people power. It is not a move. It is just a movement. President Museveni used it. Because when you get tired of a government that has rotten leaders, people come up with a movement. Never gamba amanyi g'abantu. Nekati omulembe gwaffe tukikola bubi. Bwaba President Museveni taweerera abaana gwe weerera. Mulina bi group ebyo bye mukoze bi WhatsApp groups byammwe eby'ekisiru. Mutuli ku WhatsApp association y'abasajja mukola byokyo okujjako wala gine ne sigala n'okwana abaana baabe ne mugenda ngambira mu lugambo. Bw'osanga nga abasajja bali mu lugambo tambula owete. I am a girl who has moved with boys my whole life. Nze nga wasanze bakyali bange. Ngandi ne bakyali bange ogenda kwewuunya. My friends love me. The boys. Nemunage bwe baawasa bajja mpolampola bakazi baabwe bayomba engamba abanake era abakazi b'abantu batandika nti nziba abasajja asimanyi njagala batwala Bulaaya neŋŋamba mu sweetheart nemugamba ekintu kitabuseemu kayala nemugamba oluggi lweri tuluggale dayeeka. We discussed all this. Tetuli basiru tetuli bayaayi. When you love someone, kati gwofuutukayo oli kasiru waliyo nga abakwana ate eyo bamusaba foolish galation because omuntu omusiru ye alaba bulabi kintu nagamba naye ebifaananyi byange obyagaza ki eyo teyali mbaga. Twali twambaza my dad his last garment. My dad said he's tired. I never wanted any man to walk me down the aisle when he's not been a father figure in my life. Owozi oli muganda wa kitange. Mbogenda kubeera taata ku mukolo gwange. Ngani? Taata manyi kyakola. Taata awa ssente. Taata abuulirira. Taata takugeya. Yes, batata bange bangeyeza bamu ne bamblockinga. Ne bagamba siba wanjiri kati ngobera tata ku mukolo gwange apaana sijjuji. Batata mwambadde amakanzu naye gaaki. Obutowa order. Buwalabo buli mbeerera bw'otowerako order. Twagala kukwata kawalako. Naye nzo nkwatako n'ovuma anti omwana azaalibwa kyalo Esther. Kati gwe tulina okugunjula n'otabeeranga banno nkimanyi. Era sina lunaku lwe nali mpisizamba kitange maaso babuuza boogera amazima. Ewaffe batukuzanga we discuss issues. I am the only child who sits with my fathers. Nembagamba my mind. Manya my heart. I don't speak my mind. I don't speak my mind. Cause what is here? Fathers, sit with your daughters and your sons. My dad sat us down. I am a firstborn because my mother is a firstborn. My dad is the lastborn if there were no other halves and steps. A stepchild bamuyita mujjana nnyina. A stepsister or a stepbrother, you don't share the blood link. Nga yajja ne maama wo bamuyita mujjana nnyina is your step sibling. Naye kasita omwana nga kitaawo yamuzaala, those are halves. Halves and halves not. Maama wo ayonsa buli kiramu ku kyalo. Tetulwaki olaba tulina ba surrogate mothers. Omanyi mu confusing ebigambo amwakulirawo. When you share a father, you have blood link. But with mothers, there is no blood link. So abana ba nyoko, those are step siblings. Kati abana ba jjajja mukyala azala my dad. Nga tebazaalibwa Kalibala, those are steps to my dad. Kubanga bava mu basajja balala. gwe tobuuza naye jjajja mukyala lwaki alina abasajja bangi mukanya kimu oyo malaaya wa ku kyalo mukwano toyitanga jjajjange malaaya nja kukuba emimwa jjajjange yafumbirwa emirundi 2 ogwokusatu yagugaana jjajja wange yafumbirwa kaddaali asooka it did not yield results because omukulu yali yeesooka dda jjajjange jjajjange yalina boyfriend first cut is the deepest nga mwana wa munyolo wa mtooro jjajja Tebinteme Masanafu Kasuli nedda Kalule jjajja Masanafu ye yali first boyfriend wa jjajja. They loved each other big time. I serve a big godo. But jjajja failed to get pregnant. Jjajja namugamba mukwano kagala nnyo. Naye we can't continue like this. Cause at 35 edde nnyo wabeeranga mukadde. Ennaku zino tubeera saati naye n'otamanya nti tuli saati. Kati gwe watunulira looza ndinemeka. I have men who have met me nga bankwana n'eŋŋaana ne bannangira obukulu. Ne nga munnange nze nno gw'olangira sikwagala. Ate nze sigenda n'abavubuka bato. Ekyo nakyegamba mukwano cause tatange mukulu asinga my mom 7 years. Abavubuka bato tebakula. Basirusiru mu bwongo. Baana ba mami. Mukwano nze sigenda kulera. Sigenda kubeera mukyalawo ate ntekako n'okulera. Be banavubuka bawuza mama nge yasinga okufumba. Sigala n'ennyoko. Ogundi yagamba Kenzo yali tamuvuma. Omugenzi. Ye mugenzi ani? Oli aji. Yali tamuvuma. Yali tamuvuma. Nete mwagala babuulira kubanga gwe tewakula na tata tewakula na mama weeyiya beeyiya yali tamuvuma. Yali amubuulirira abasajja abakulu we batwe babuulirira. Ati gwe tobimanyi nze nabeeranga n'abasajja abakulu. I was raised by old people. Bannange babeeranga bazanya Esther nga tudde mu meeting. Era tebangobanga because they knew who I am. It was a garment. Nze natulanga ne ba Uncle Dan Kigozi. Ng'abaana balala tebasobola kubateekayo. Ng'ogenda kusanga mu meeting. Ogenda kusanga mu bikujjuko by'abantu abakulu. Waliwo yabuzanga oyo omwana wani. Baali tebatambuza mwana, baali batambuza maama waabwe. Baali batambuza jjajjaabwe. Naye ate bokusinga baali bamanyi maama waabwe. Baali tebamanyi jjajja waabwe. Bamulabako jjajjaabwe Kabejja. Kabejja is a nickname to hide the king in her, if you didn't know. Abaganda bafuna engero ne bakubika. Kati nze ne ŋŋenda erinnya ne ndikyusa ne nteekako double N. Olowooza yali yaki. Mu Buganda, all the N names are supposed to be a double. I am the only one who adapted it in 97 when I was going to do my finals as a P7. Mbunga nesalako ku mukutu. I was disconnecting myself. I am good at it. Kati pogenza okungoba mu kigroup kye kya WhatsApp eky'ekkanisa. Let family group. I don't belong because I did it in 97. I love standing out. Nava musako. Mbaleka ne kiboko ne balya. Nze sengala kunkuba na kundekanira. Apana. And people started saying, "Ine tondo iye nzondekanire byesakoze." Abana banuunye eva mu nnyumba ne sukali. Abasajja mwekaza. Abana bo bewaleeta bewazaale bali be banuuna sukali olw'okuba baana. I have a friend that love him so much. Twasoma Musanga Makere. Naye mulangira. He's now married, so he's okay with it. Muzukuru wa the late Besweli Mulondo. Besweli Mulondo, abana b'abasembayo abato, they used to stay in the same compound as us. And his wife, the mother to those boys, yali yenkana n'abaana ba Besweli Mulondo abakulu. That's where I got my first accident. One of the boys was carrying me bamwita Juko. Mulangira Juko. Juko. Nga njavula neva ewafe jitu. Wada wali Zuri apartments in a Jana Kumbi. Ate nyumba yafuka ekidukiro ky'aboono. Ate nyumba yafuka ekifulu kwa kubanga bagimenya baji dismantle nga bangamba mbu bagenda gizzaawo. Ate nga omulala agamba bagala kolerawo business. Kati ne munimba mulimba nze nannyini nyumba. Obye tubireke. I would crawl from the boys' quarters tatange kwe yakulira. Nengenda mu main house. It was a tiled yategula. Kati mu nyumba Besweli Mulondo. Olozo lwaki Besweli Mulondo bamuleka napangisa. Gotobuuzanga. Mujja kuba bulungi. These guys were honoring. Nga bagala abebitiibwa bakule bonna. Cause nakula ne Mawanda, he's a rugby player. Nekula ne Juko. Juko is an architect. At the same time, they do different businesses. Then Walone Peter. So I'm older than Mawanda, ne Peter, but Juko is older than us. I think I'm the same age with Mawanda or something like that. Because Peter was a year younger than I am, or 2 years younger. So, nganjavulanga ngene bagenda okujanga ndi muzaali. Ejjuko ajane mama we nga ndi muzaali. Kati njavula ngenda mu nyumba yaabwe bayina omuyambi we a maid. Nze Esther nga nyingira mbuli nyumba nga teryaŋŋaana. Because they knew. Before Besweli Mulondo died, I went and Nemwatuzo locals. Different people had gone there. But I'm the only one who had the last card to make sure he goes to be with the Lord. My mom went there with some other people. Bino bebabulira enjiri. Mama wange yena asirika. Teyababulira bingi. Mama wange bwatyo. Nenga ali amanyi Besweli Mulondo in and out. His wife, Mama Wabajuka in back Church of Uganda, Kabowa. Now, I meet Captain Walugembe in Makerere University when I went back to do my master's in renewable energy. We were in the same class. Yeah, so made a Makerere for his electrical. And my supervisor for my research, renewable energy, I assessed septic tanks in Kampala to see if they can be used as a biodigester. They studied together. So for them, they are 44 years and above, meaning they're the same age. They're in the same age range with my husband. So I was in S1 when for them they were in S4, depending on which year. That was 98. Now for them, they went to other schools. So I meet Captain Walugembe. He's with the UPDF. He's a mechanical engineer. But he's a mechanical engineer. But you know, in Makerere, when you're in SEDAT, you meet all the engineers, whether you're in electrical, mechanical, and other things. Now Walugembe did more of automotive in Makerere. So he comes back to do renewable energy, and he majored in biogas like me. He also didn't graduate. Actually, he went back to Makerere, and I think he changed his topic because we all didn't graduate because of a lecturer who is his hobby. Now lecturers, be careful. Because you're dealing with kids you don't want to know. Makerere caught fire. And you blamed it on the president of Uganda. Mukwan. I just keep quiet. That fire came from heaven. What did the police say? Okay, they did the investigation. What did the police say? Why would Makerere catch fire in COVID? And all things were burnt in that main building. Why? Where you find the academic registrars. Why? Mumbuli them 7 years yatumani yateka kakabiji mpazi mwatu gamye never ali kudembe ya mocha. Right here akatali bakatuma bali kudembe. Njagalo reasoning nga tunavayo kwera bisa. Muwoza mbutu mulabisa. Mwera bisiza mweka kubanga mwino obwongo obunafu. ekigambo kiri bali ku ddembe season gye tulimu emizimu gyayimuka kubanga bakabaka tebafa bokka. You've had stories of people finding strange things ne basanga abakazi n'abaana because they were killed in Buganda. Wokolera ensobi n'oyanguza bwoti kabaka n'azaala omwana mu abo abakazi ababeera mu lubiri. Hey, che. Go and find out the history of Ghana before you look stupid. No, the younger blood, muli basiru. Ate mwagene mukola musiru dala dala. Nze mbadde nteesa. Tusigale ku bye tusobola. Bw'oba uliragala kujjako mu 7. Mukwano dduka mu State House omukube pancha agweri. Afe ati mwagala afe mpulira bahaji abasajja abakulu obwongo obunavu. Afe nze Museveni wana ajja kukola pati nga Museveni ayongera kaga. Ate leero naze kusabira bakulembeza. Museveni nga yongera kaga nga gonyiga nga nze mbeereno nga nsanyuka. Nze bwentyo ndi wakisalo nga bwe neerowoozaako. Owayiriza omuntu gw'otasulangako naye mu nnyumba. Wamukwatira nabagamba mumukwate ngatta omuntu mumumpe wano. Ngenda musaddaka ng'enseeramu. Sikirwana. Nabagamba muvive ku bintu by'ekisiru bye mwogera. Mwawalampa kabaka, muvumye sengange Najinda. Najinda is my auntie. Najinda is Kabaka's best friend because the original wife refused. Sijja kubulira who the original wife refused. Yagamba tino kabaka teyasoma ani agenda n'ataso. Sisobola kubulira yani kati onoonya olugambo. Balugambo nation. Mu Buganda bakulondera kasitobera kabaka bakulondera omuntu. Because me I wasn't recognized. God chose my husband. My great grandmother chose a man for me. Let's put it that way and keep quiet. Because my grandfather and his grandfather, the father to his mom, they attended King's College Buddha together. But he was older than Kalibala. Kati gugendo oyogera ebintu byaswaka. Bajja kukubira bwerere sabaawa. Nze sijja kubaayo. Nina bwe nalabula. Girls yagenda nanyiga nagenda gagamba nemutampita kumbaga ate nampalampa nayambala kagato kange nanvuma. Nze simusangangako. Namulabula nze sikulwamu. Nekugamba mukwano, stay away from my husband. You don't know us. Nze okubeera nammwe nensekaseka nammwe because you went to Mengo, you went to Caltech, you went olw'emmanyo mmanyo lukwasa embwa mmanyo ojja kukwata mu kamwa ka papi gye bayise kiwawa empologoma ejja kulya n'abeewammwe kubanga nze bwe njasama the heart of God comes out. Nze simala gasama. Nze nsenya amannyo. Siwunya kamwa. Ask those who have been close to me. Sirina kavubuka siwunya ebyo simanya musajja ali awunya ka. Buli musajja awunya kalidde. Nze sweetheart. Naturally, I have a body which is just amazing. Bosanganga nina kasente ngomanya nina eddagala ly'emmira. Omuntu yekagenda okubulira amazima ebinkwata kajja kuba mwami wange. Ate atagenda kubanyumiza. Agenda kubanyumiza yabanyumiza dda. When it comes to sensitivity of someone, we keep it to ourselves. My mom hasn't been with me for 8 years. She last saw me when I was 31. She saw me again when I'm 39. And she saw me on the 22nd. Waliwo fire ni fire. Kwanga nali mbuza mubbi kyatudde mu nyumba ya kitanga yagala okuntuga. Because every time I've been here, my dad mbeera mulwadde. Nze Christmas, when I started growing like this, because nina ebintawaanya, and people don't understand, I would walk away. Nga bwe nva ku church, I go back to my place and keep quiet. Kati nga making sure nti teri ambuukinga. Nga ndeka open-ended card. Umanyi ba open check yenzi. nga sikusuubiza kubanga nali nako ogende wa jjajja wange nga ebigambo bingi saagala kukola mirimu kyo lwaki neerwaza, you know, I love my grandmother. Ne batugamba tetulina kyetukolera jjajja tetumuyamba maani ebyo ebintu wabigamba abaana oba osuubira ki? Ne batuuka notugamba eri ennyumba si yabansenene yabangeye. Do you know how we felt? Kati the young blood abagenda bawasa ne basanga ekintu nga kyonna kirinnyirire. Omanya okunywa amazzi ng'oli yagataddemu ye yamaze okunywa n'ateekamu ebisoto bw'ati. This is happening in all families. Because if we don't put the families together and raise the right leaders, a leader has a father and a mother. Nekati onsubira onkyanza okuwa akalulu nga nnyoka agenda ageya abantu. The fact that you've gone to school, you have a master's, mukwano. Nze gyenva baflohesi si bana bajingirire abatula mu class. My undergrad I did 4 good years. Nenfuna second class upper in environmental engineering and management, sponsored by the government of Uganda. Because I got 13 points at my A-level, Caltech Academy. And I was doing only PEM, physics, economics, and mathematics, with a GP point. I got 13. I got 13 in 2003. 13 points. And I qualified. My friends who called me a prostitute in Mengo, they found me there when I'm an engineer too. Environment, I was in the 5th cohort. And this year, Chambogo released the 20th graduation. Kati in 2008, which level was it? Because this is 2024, right? Those are 12 years ago. Now 20 minus 12, 6th graduation ceremony for Chambogo. Now 6th graduation. Gane simye mwanatu. Ife wa pioneers mu kintu kino. My dad studied in Chambogo, by the way. In the technical section. He's a theater mechanic. Because if my dad is 68, I am 40. So I'm just 28 years younger than my dad. Because he gave birth to me, I'm a honeymoon baby. He married at 27. Me, as my parents are growing, I'm also growing. We wear the same shoe size, by the way. With Tata, it's supposed to be wider. With Mom, it's supposed to be narrow. The one that fits me can't fit them. Because in Buganda, that's how they find out a true king. If you didn't know that. They use the feet to know that Karibala, oh yeah. Senga ya kebera obugero bw'abaana. Abakopi mwakijeyo mukwano. Girls, if your brother gives birth to children, check their feet. Ababana bawala basirusiru abali bagenda bazaala muku. Ne balyoka babasiba obwana bw'abayaaye. Olaba akana ng'okuza akana nga kana kabi. Ogamba gaze tetwabako. Bakuleetera akana k'omulogo. Bakuleetera akana keba olubuto yalufuniramu bbaala bino bye bazunga ekiro. N'abaana bawala balogo. Because besiba ku basajja bava mu family z'akabi. We have many girls in Uganda. I have relatives. Nga balangira. Naye nga alina omuwala yamwesibako bwesibi bakozesa baby. Nga taba abawala nasoma nabo ekyambogo. Nasoma nabo Caltech. Nasoma nabo ekitebe. Era enjiri bwe yatandika ne bangobaganya ne ngamba I didn't come to your wedding. Sorry. If you are married to a Mulangira in Buganda, wait. Nze nina ebisembi kasole to mumwa nga ngenda mu investigation nga nyambala ka investigative journalism nanga nayo no muwala chichi bannange nga nkwata kafaananyiko nga ngamba no mchala wani bawo yasomera King's College budo omanya abana be buddo abamu obwongo bunafu bewana wananga nze nina omuzo omubi bangamba obubi bubeera mutoyi twagenda King's College budo and netuzanya rugby Esther nawe zanya rugby nze buli support njizanya sagala kumanya ati ze sagala kunegayirira era nabagamba tugende kasa tusanga yakavubuka nga tekesobola I just love my life. My friends can laugh those ends. Nze kasa tukusanga ngoli munafu ngamba substitute is the word. I'll take his position. That's why my friends are very bandagala. Abawala balugambo nation. Kati naye basajja bafuga lugambo nation. Kati abafuka lugambo nation tebanjagalira koddala. Naye ng'ensobi yiyo. Bannange kitalumanyi. Ate gompira gange gubuzi. Owoli. Mpira gange gwafunye ebigere kulaka gwagenze Kampala ate mwami wange tazanya rugby. Ate leero balina games. Mwami wange tazanya rugby. Esther mwami wazanya ki? Mubuuze tomumanyi. He loves football. Football is his thing and cars. He loves racing. I love cars, by the way. I love all games. Number 4. I love cars. I love games. Because that's how I was raised. Ebintu byenina bakuza. Biri musayi kati yagala college. Nga kamutuka. Esera shogula mmotoka yatajjajja wange nina phobia. Gwagula mmotoka nze mperera abaana bo bogenda ozala kukubo nga tolabirira. Mukanama. I love cars. Ngambira wano nakamutuka kanda. Okalabi. Good. The child in me was not raised, I'm sorry. They raised an old woman. They did not raise me. I am 10 years old. Kati gwankubulira obere ngogamba naye ng'omuwala tetumutegeera. Get to find out her history. Anyway, yangamba nagamba Esther, it will catch up with you. Tebagenda mu bbala. Ne mugamba agambye ki? Nze nakulira mu lujja. Tetulina bbala gye tutamanyi. Esther ng'oli mulokole 311. Omulokole yakola ati. Kakulage gye nakulira. Tina gendo klaba da Ebony is 47 years. Nze nati nasomera mu ssomero lyabwe. Balikolera ssomero lyali lyaba elite children. Go asomera. Bagende ne bagamba abala bannakawunde mujje ne kola went. Ne ngamba bannange mutuleke n'emyaka gyaffe. Jangu wano baby Gloria. I just put on the music I love. Techali munage kuba banku bachiboke ku YouTube batito yagala genda kulaba channel yange ku YouTube and subscribe and share. Tokene biyo gamba likinde bayo. Nekutunulira which bayo we are talking about. I linked in your bio. I checked your biological clock on and being your DNA young anzi. Remember, you're part of money and ne. You're my DNA. You're part of money and ne. What's up? I'm sick of it. I love listening to myself. Nanga sinyumiza no wange. Nga sinyumiza no. Sagala gena mu bbala we balwana ne bakanyuga chip ejja kunkuba ate amawulire gafulume mu bukedde bagambe tatange yaganda tukozesa erinnya yagamba ne tubuuza lwaki mugende mukole empisa embi bawandike amawulire bawandike erinnya lyange nagamba it's only his wife who has the right era okuva olwo sikosa erinnya lya tata wange tebakulya ebinusu waliwo yali akwana n'alikosa ne mugamba tobiddanga munangamba fe munange tukozesa sali ne mugamba ebikola ewa sali si ebikola ewa zaakayo yali angamba mbu yali aninda mmala okusoma namugamba I finished school in 2008 you got married ne muzaala omwana omukazi nakusibya ekiwanyi ne mwawukana 2016 ndi mu America ogamba ati bulijjo nninda ne mugamba nina omusajja nangamba yani ne mugamba mu abalokole mbamanyi musabira abasajja babanina mmwe ne bafa at that time I was in a relationship with somebody else who was tukireka ekyo ate wasn't kubanga nali nkitadde bwe namugamba nti ndi mulwadde nangamba bye bice ebikuluma I never told him when I was leaving the country. He got to know that I'm abroad when he called my UTL number, no, my Airtel number, and my mom picked it. Nagamba yagala kwogera ne Esther, ne bamugamba Esther taliwo, nagamba lwaki taliwo. Bamugamba teyakugambye. Nabuuza okungamba ki. Bamugamba kuba line ye ya orange. Kubanga my orange line njirina one. Eri mukana akasimu ka MTN. Kahuwa. Okajikira kana kasi. Souvenir. Eya MTN line yange najigaba. Ne bamugamba mukubire. Omubbi yajja nabba akasimu kange nabba esimu ya my mom mwali mu line yange ya Airtel and someone took it nagenda nga nzija mu groups zonna ze nalimu eza WhatsApp and people saw my number leave. Ne bagamba agenze ne ngamba ye agenze nesigaze number yange ya America nga sijigaba ne mpuna groups z'abayaye nankubira wane esimu negenda ku roaming nganjira bawenzi era bwokuba orange achaliyo nomala kuba line yange ya orange achakijikira you're going to go through it's on nemugamba hello nangamba hello nangamba do you know who you're talking to nemugamba who are you nangamba mama nenga nalimanyi kwenjogera naye nangamba oli ludda ne mugamba why are you asking nali mulwadde ng'akyamya oluba namugamba ebinnuma nangamba byebiki I told him I got a Bell's palsy. Now you've done IT, you're good with the computer, couldn't you check it out? Nzanga bulwembo mulwadde nenjikuba abeera busy. Boys. Natenga ye baba ina kyayagala Esther is always around. The boys that have dated me. Babona nange. Nzanga bwemba nina kyenjagala babeera busy. Boys, be careful out there. ate omuwala bwe batomwagala togenda ng'omwogerako. There are 3 of them, but they talked about me the wrong way. Oyo yali wakubiri. Ebyange bibeera mu cover. Nze sekulya bifaananyi n'abantu bendetinga ne mbiwanika ku social media ndeka. Nze kuwanike nga mukazi wo gyali akulengera nze nga simanyi kyolina. Nze sifumba na mujja wange. Nedda na mukazi mulala siina mujja wange. Wafuukira mujja wange kitegeeza my husband married you and you're married legally. Ebyo galoze ebyo bye mukwana abasajja b'abendi nga oli just girlfriend. Then otandika okweyita mujja w'omuntu bajja kubalula. I don't have a co-wife. I don't have a co-wife. But if you're there, munango nosonyu. Bye. Don't open your mouth, boys, about the girls you have slept with. Don't talk about them. Leave them alone. You don't like her, you don't love her. It is okay. Wali omwetasizamu, we understand. Nze, I kept a virgin for 39 years. Nebagenda ne babagamba eyo banne bakakozi. Eyasooka byogera mukwano. Yafuna enkyakya nga yakola PCB ng'ate yakoppa. Bakoppa nga tuli Mengo mu S4. N'akomawo n'agamba bakyali yanneebaseeko. You joke. Mengo boys and girls. Omuwala yakolali. He pushed me home. I have a habit of visiting people's homes. Nagenda mu room ye. Ng'abaana abawala bonna bwe babeera tubeera bato. Esther mukyova okudda ewaabwe azunga agenda ku kyalo. I have been like that. Nze mu kukyala to ndi wa kitalo. Boys, let me open a can of worms. Oba omuwala omwebaseeko bati omwebaseeko tebinkwatako. Omuwala oba omukutte ku kisambi. Oba omwegadde. Amanye ebigambo byenti okwogera. Omuwala muli ku kitanda. Batulabula ne batugamba mukyala muyingira mu bisenge by'abalenzi mujaleeta ebizibu. Nga nze ndowooza basaaga nze nina omuze omubi oba nagwa mubi nze kyondabula kyengezaako. Angamba Esther, you love risking. Nengamba apaana tulina okukeberayo. I have another friend, he had raped me. Don't joke. Twabirwaniramu. And he has never bad-mouthed me out there. Nave Kampala nga ndi stressed neninya bus. Were they 9 hours? Hey, I was stressed at work, then I was given a forced leave. Hey. Nentuuka mu bakyali bange. Mukwano gwange yambuuza you boarded the bus thinking what? Nangamba na assuring. Nangamba Esther, if you get pregnant and I get to know the first week, I am coming home back to Kuwase. Namugambe chintu chimne mugamba mukwano. It doesn't work like that. Because byeneti senali mbimanyi. Ne mugamba bwoba njagala. Tebagikwatako paka ngompasiza. It's a covenant. Twarwana nayomba nanangira naye nga tuli fekka. Ne bakwano be tebamanya kyantuuseeko. Because that is how private I am with my friends. Era when nakomawo, I distanced myself. Yanvuma nanangira obusiru yonna yabinangira When natuuka mu America, we had a conversation. Nemujjukiza n'aseka n'angamba you have a memory. Nemugamba we were kids. Kati ate ngeri omuwala ye muto ku nze ate nga ye amwagala bubi nnyo amwetaaga. Era bwe bampita maama mu wedding meeting saabuuza bingi kubanga madamu yali awaseggwako. Naye nga yagendayo nga omuwala tebamwagala. Girls be careful. Nze abasajja banwanira ate gwe olwanira balwanira. Yali tamwagala bino bye muzunga ne bakyalibo. Ne musanga abawala mu groups ne babeesibako boys be careful. Madamu yalemerako paka lwe bamuzaala bamuwasa ne basooka mufunisa lubuto. Ne yeetunga ku musajja ffenna nga tukimanyi. Era bwe nalaba bwe tebampita mu wedding meeting saabuuza bingi. Ne ngamba naye nga bamuŋŋamba dda. Era obufumbo bwagaana. N'omwana we baali bamuzaala asooka naliyo mu ddwaliro neesabira omwana nze ndi sengekeza abaana abalenzi n'abawala. Neesabira omwana ne mwambula ekikuwa kya nnyina okwesiba ku taata we. Kubanga ebigambo byayogerwa. Omuwala nabbisa omulenzi ensimbi gaaloozi. Bannange mubeere careful. Ogenda kusiba abaana bo ekikwa. Ogenda siba abaana b'ekikolimo. Girls, omusajja abatakwagala ate omwesibaako ne bwakufunisa olubuto. There is a man out there akwagala nga bw'ofaanana. Omuwala yayogerera omulenzi ebigambo ebibi. Bannange bwe mubanga musalo gw'akawala muwuliriza ogw'akalenzi. Ate abalenzi bano abasinga bamulekwa. I'm a boys advocate, my friends. Because of a mantle I carry. I am a boys advocate. I am a girl. When my parents agreed to get married, the Lord told them that your firstborn will be a leader. And I got a name, but the name was not a girl's name. Mama bwe yamanya nti ali lubuto, I am a honeymoon baby. Mama opened the book of the Bible and she read the book of Esther for 9 months. Katondest. Erinnya baba wadde lya mulenzi. Madamu n'asoma Bible nga bw'agitadde ku lubuto bw'ati. She was 20 years at a time. I told some mothers ngamba yigiriza n'abalenzi ti you want to capture the heart of your baby go amutaddemu. Mukisenge Katonda mumugobayo. Mwate lwaki oyeta Yesu mu bedroom. Yesu ye yatonda sekisi si taatawo. Wabusiru oba muyonka buyonke. Anti era batera okugamba nti oli musiru nga nnyoko. Oba munywa biki. Some of you boys mubeera ngagamba bakukutte. Yes, nkimanyi bakukutte. It's possible. Abaana abawala bazibu kasita kwagala. Si mwe musooso bikola bannange. Eri Wasalayi ne Ibrahimu ebintu babikola. Kyekiri mu DNA eguju. Mama read the book of Esther. When you get the Bible and you give babies the Bible names, give them some Bible lessons. Esther in the Hebrews means hidden. My mother dressed me a garment of the book of Esther. I carry that book with honor. It does not mean queen. They were covering Hadassah, the perfume. Hadassah means a sweet perfume. They were covering the next in line. They were covering a girl who is going to rescue Israel. Omuzachi mwakana kange ke kashankisi. Shankisi omumanyi. Mulimu bana bavu akana kange ke ka pere omumanyi. Akana kange ke ka Maradona mukwano. Do you know who Maradona was? You just hear the names. Boza. When my dad, the only thing he would watch on TV was sports. He loved boxing, football, swimming. My dad did it all. He's a cricketer. My dad could run. He's a sprinter. There was like a black and white TV. Murujanga waliwo mugaga kaline yakola amasanyalaze yasoma amasanyalaze the late Steven Sebagala. nga tukonverginga wali ku nyumba mu kazigo kati akayumba bakamenya kubanga it belongs to Dan Chigozi awali Zuri Apartments genda ku Zuri Apartment si osubeko mu bitege omulembe efune ku mutisa anti bye mwagala otambula kutambuzina navyo ngoza timu oli mulalu buli omu ayagala okubeerako ne navyo. Yes, because we carry it. Ate mwaba mwagala okutambula ne navyo because of his mother. Sweetheart, singa walaba ku taata wa navyo simanye wa navyo yandibadde ayimba sagala tukirweko. But they love music. Because we love music, it's chili more blood like this. Musinga malako ku Dan Chigozi. Kati nze ndi wano mbanyumiza ge mutala. Dan Chigozi. Nga bwe baba wali emizannyo eri ku cricket oval. Anti mwe mugisa cricket oval. Nze nga maama w'abatu tambula n'abasajja. Nga baleka abakyala babeerwe. And those days Navio was not even in the country. Navio did not enjoy his father's time that much. Because babeera geri munakani mu buwangangu. So go so kubeera mwasalira mu mutulekani. Omanye ennaku gy'alina. Si ye munaku. Gundi yagamba pasa ogembe. Omwana wa munaku. Navio munaku kitegeeza mufiirwa. Naye kale tukireke nga bwe kirimwa mulowooza kyabaavu. You know what it means to grow up nga taata wo mulaba once in a while. Nga taata wo abeera Uganda gagobeera eri ne maama wo. Kyekirwaki Oluswayiri kintu kye ebintu ntuweebyo. Omulaba abeera n'abantu beeri n'abeera comfortable. And now that ali mu tourism, because we love tourism. He's a traveler. Omwana wo bw'oba omukuza byebyo ebintu by'olina okukuza. Dan Chigozi family mwava, we love traveling. Mwagamba nti neri kofiira ya Museveni nedda. Eyo kofiira yaffe ba traveler. Kubanga ne Museveni traveler. Yatuula mu ntebe y'aba traveler. Mwana wako Museveni gamuto. Ati yabeera gammaji. Nkwano amagye tugategeera. Nze gye nabo genda okola mukyaka gwe naawe. Nze nyumirwa nnyo challenges. I know how to put the gun together. Kati because we were to rejectinga. Never get ne bantwala emmengo. Nze nengwa mu bintu. Ekigambo olugero luli lutuukirira nti omunaku kaama yeerandiza yekka. Nze nenzanya nenkola buli kintu bakabaka kye baakolanga. Because that school belongs to the kings. But it was a girls' school, not a boys' school. And the kids in my family who have gone through Mengo Senior School are the kids whose parents naturally are interested with n'abaana ba Kalibala. Mwali mulowooza nti ki? When I got 7 points and Mengo called me, nze nakwata gayaza nenjiwa second choice. Tonzanyisa nze. Because it's history for crying aloud. Waliwo yagamba tayinza kata gayaza n'omuteeka wansi wa Mengo. Excuse me. Mengo is the first school in Uganda. And Mengo is a mother to Gayaza. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I can put Budo anywhere. I am a mother to the Budonians. The fact that it's a Mukwano, Mengo is the king's school. Budo and Gayaza is for the king's children. Tobi danga mwanato. Mugenda muzunga King's College Budo. It is for the children of the kings. When Mengo got on copy, the peasants. Togara mzungu. Okay, tukosechika mu copycats. Mwabada loza mzungu yakitandika nacho muli balalo. Nze mkono siri mu copycats. Ate waliwo abantu opomwana agenda agamba nti munaku ekigambo munaku kitegeeza mule kwanja kubengolo ku nnyindo. Because ekigambo ekyo, I carry a mantle that comes from people who were rejected. Katolina history wajja buzine bakuwasa. Wajja buzine owasa. Mwe bajja mu family ne muwasa ne. This goes it is a general naye wakagato weka kutuka kambale naye ndakagato kange kambale pola mu mannato. ekigambo munaku kitegeeza mulekwa. And one of my auntie put it right and we laughed about it. Nagamba kanyabo. Because my auntie here and my auntie in the UK, because they were not there, abo baganda batata wange 311. When I was crying at my wedding, my auntie in the UK called and people switched off their phones. Do you know what that means? Nawagamba banange mugende muyambo omwana. Because bagamba they just snatchers. People lied musawa tata wange mutwalo. Nga video wona twabubawa. Because all they've been in the family is to steal a blessing I carry. Olwamala basabire byabwe ne bitereera nze nenfuuka omusiro ate naba warning muka meeting ne mbagamba basenga I am tired. I'm tired of the disrespect. Mulina abaana besinga obukulu abalala mbasinga. Abalala bansinga because they have kids. Because simanya basoma. Simanya bayina emmotoka, simanya bayina abasajja, simanya byakoze bitya. Owange ne bamuyita omuyaye mbo omutamiivu. I surprised my husband. Uyu mwana wa munene, please. Obuganda buyina ekizibu bya mwana wani. Nabagamba temugenda mu investigations mujja swalira bwerere. That kid is connected to power. Nabagamba munyambe kubanga mugenda kuswala ebisigadde simange mugenda biza ate wafe tetuswala twekazaawo bwekaza. Twekaza bwekaza ne tufuuka emikalango. Nengambe bannange omwami kati nina taata wange omunagamba nyawo yegwe mukyalamu. It is tukulina ku record aba bakulekanya ekoko y'omukeri tuzimewo. God is very interesting. I met the late Albert Rugmayo. Albert Rugmayo studied with my auntie here. They were in King's College Budo together. They are the same age. But Albert Rugmayo was one. Gasazanga kati. Before he died, he introduced me to his family through his daughter, the last born, the civil engineer. They go to All Saints. Albert Rugmayo was my supervisor, the late engineer Albert Rugmayo. His father studied with my grandfather in King's College Budan in the UK. Now olina mikwano naeda eriti mutama. They protected me, but they could not approach me to tell me because when my grandfather died 60 years ago, in 1964, the pain they felt as friends, because my grandfather connected people to power. My grandfather connected people to power. Because his mother used to do that. I have done that with my friends. Now, what to talk about mazima. Katate change na chisusa. Mu Bible Yesu agamba mujja kukola ebisingako. Echange na siso kurumya. In the 4 years of COVID, I have worked with people nayengandiwa. Nga teri abamanyi. Their YouTube channels ne zikula. Kachiroka bachanise bateeka ku TV ne bawalampa. Ningamba bannange. Kati ate bano abakyala b'abasumba ne mbasaasira abo abato ne bawalampa. Odelitinga ebintu byange ate n'olekako ebibyo. Lwaki tobirekaako n'ebyange abantu ne bawulira kye mbadde njogera? Ekikulu ky'aba abantu kitiibwa mukwano. You don't command respect. If you're commanding respect, it is actions. I was not playing around on your so-called church groups. I was helping you. Hey, tumanyi watuyamba. Namba bannange omuwala ono bamukuba engolo ku nnyindo. Ekisooka amateeka temugagoberera. bagenda kujja akakanisa bakatwale bakasuule nga Yesu tabagambangako nakutandika kanisa naye n'okuba bataata bamwe n'amama amwe baagala otinkiza bakuteeke mu kanisa ejja bakuuta. This goes out to all the so-called pastors' wives. Because the men bamuddu awulira ne bano abazaana ba Kabaka. Kati bwe wangobolooza n'enfa si bw'osoose ne kitaawo yangoba n'ennyoko. Then parents started telling their kids to stay away from me n'emizimu bajja neŋŋamba yeeye nze yalokoka ati adda mu bikadde buli ssaawa neŋŋamba tusome sikiritu kyeyo kubanga entami endagaano enkadde egamba ki? Why should they keep on referring us to the men who died in the Bible? Kingship belongs to the Lord. Olina ebyo nenda bakati buno bukapero obuvaamu eminyira neŋŋamba kubanga waliwo yabanyumiza ekiboozi. Ebiboozi ebyekisiru mu kkanisa byaki mubirekere bano abatamiivu abataalokoka kubanga binyuma nnyo ku malwa. Bireke ebyo bye bigendera ku malwa nga muli eri munywa amalwa mubeera eri mu bubaalabaala obwo obusirusiru obubaala eyo gye mutuula ne bukwata omuliro bomu ne zibakuba. Omwagamba Museveni yalikuba bomu. Obwongo obunaafu. Things changed in 2010. I woke up in 2010. Because in 2009, in 1999, I got the second wave of the paralysis. Because I keep growing and evolving. Because my first relationship was 2010. Because the devil doesn't want me to get married. I woke up. I was 28 at the time. Remember, my dad got married at 27. My system woke up. I had to call my mom. Nemgamba mom. 2010 and 1980. Call her Martha, I was 26. Because I'm a November baby. I was 26. Esther Solo. I was 26 years. I would wake up in the morning and my tummy would swell. And I would go to the bathroom once a day. Okay, the toilet, kolaturini, the longo kolo. Okusala ezzike. Oba ebyayi. I would do it once a day and early in the morning. Ate nga nkikolanga maze kukola sit-ups. Then I asked my mom, tinaye kati mama. Bw'oweza gino emyaka ng'omukyala era bannange okubeera kape. Nze gambuuza. Because when I was at the university, I had some complications. And I have friends who used to come and visit me. Sometimes I would not go to the lecture room. Era kastate bandabanga mu room. There is a young man called Luwemba Musa. Ye yali yava Kawempe. Naye ate nga yakulira Kabowa najja Nankumbi. Eri nga kugondi ku opposite Kenjoy. Bajjajja be bonna tubamanyi. Musa, he was short. Kati nga Musa alinnya akatanda kange mu first year. Nga sagenze mu class, Musa would come to check on me at Chambogo. Because we had course units we were sharing with all engineers, like communication skills, like technical French, research methods. That's how I met Musa Sisi Paul, the man behind, the brains behind the Kira EV. It's Chira. Not Kira, it is Chira. which is under the UPDF, because it is someone's research. That electrical car is someone's research, and he was in the UPDF. Like my research, no one can do my work because I am the author. It starts as someone's research. Then when it is approved, we boost it. Kati goto bitegeera. Olowooza biva mu bbanga nebigwa. Olowooza mpandiika ebitabo, so what? My work cannot be taken. But me, I went on telling my friends what to do because of the research I did. Now we have the Kira. It is Chira motor vehicle. But UPDF is on top of it because the man behind the researcher, the student, like Esther Solomon, was in the UPDF. Because they do motor and whatever mu majeni netubera mu bakabaka and everything. Ebintu byetusoma tetusoma kwala. Mtu agenza kola MBA. Nedda mukwano, weyakolera MBA nga ndi maje, kitegeeza ndi lecturer. You've seen kids from the army. You've seen presidents' kids. You've seen kings and queens. They send them to study. We don't just study kwala. We study things that are going to put a nation to the next level. Babu was a criteria. Chijibako was a company environmental engineering and management. My grandfather was a surveyor. Mama wanted a doctor out of us. Unfortunately. Because she wanted to be a doctor. Unfortunately. My dad's side. Kati naffe tuli balooya. Tetwetaaga bisoma. Nze nga nayingidde mu kooti oba owet mbuuza. 28th October, what happened? The 23rd. Nze wonjagala wenyingira. It is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verses 10. Courtesy of my father. We are taking my dad for surgery. I am just informing you just in case. It's on Monday, please. I sent a message out already and people just looked at it. And you call yourself my friend, family member, church member. I am family in church, family in school. Tell you what happened. Tell me how you are young number. Messages from Dwanga Sazira. I just kept quiet. Remember, all those things from Dwanga Sikugambi. But I never sang messages, never go any. Never gamba nanti messages and you archived me. You deleted me. Yet I've worked with you for years. You're my leaders in Scripture Union. You're my leaders in cell. You're my leaders in school. Andrew Tugume blocked me. He was my cell leader at Chambogo University. Atenga Serena. She has worked on my family members. I always find the photos in Nseka. Fewo tukwatako what? Oba okuteko Esther. You beautify us. That is what the makeup artists do. Kati nze Serena titayinza kunkolako. Rachel at Hyre. The photo jemwala wange liko simanya meya. I sent Rachel a message. I wanted her to do my makeup for my wedding. But because you guys ignore our messages, people started ignoring me. I wanted Rachel to do my makeup because Rachel did makeup name fanananga chakabi. Mukama nagamba nedda mukwano. Nenda kulondera nakolera makeup. Nantumbwe ye yankolako makeup. That girl did my makeup. Yasoka nakola makeup ekisige nakola ebisige byamwe byaba amanayigande ebyekiyaye. Nedda si byakiyaye bwe mwagala ebisige byamwe. Nekola wetine. Nabagamba, you're working on me, but take away the mirror and you do what I don't see. Because I'm very picky. Namugamba mukwano nantumbu. Naye Esther. Namugamba nantumbu byokoze. Mekobe. Namugamba munange ebyo bisiimule sibyagala. They had to call Miriam Musazi Kara. Because everyone looked at me and agamba kati one. My husband said, who is that one? They had to call someone who knows me very well. because me and Miriam totwawula ye mwana wamu ava mulaini yaba musaazi naye kabejja yeyamuwa yatowa order ne bamuwa amanya nalyoka yambala jjajja yajjawa nalyoka afuna bukibooko nga bujja buli special. I love you, Miriam Musazi Kara, Johnny Kara. I salute you so. Jajjao yansabiranga no mugenzi. I keep forgetting that man's name. He died. Nga yogera oluzungu. Pastor yafa. Bamusanga mu office nga yebase. He was called yaberanga yogunga mu R.I.P. nga yogera oluzungu. Erimu obumu na Kenya. Kati jajja wa Ikare yamukuza. Jajja wa Ikare yansabirako wedde nnyo nga ndi muto. Nze nnaku gye ndabye. Abanako kajambo. Nze mama wange gy'atatuuka n'ebitawaanya. Omusajja oyo yansabiranga twagendanga ne tutuulaawo jajja wa Ikara nkabeera n'oyo pastor. I keep forgetting that man's name. Aina erinnya lya luzungu liri very interesting. When nalijjukira nja kumusharinga kubanga nina wembirina. Yansabiranga. Mothers, when you have a child having issues, keep in the Lord. And don't talk about other people's kids. Because your own kids are going to get problems as really complicated. Boys, when you meet a girl nga alina challenges with her health, bw'oba tomwagala muleka agende, don't badmouth the child. Tomumanyi. Ebyo bye mugenda mwewaana. Mukwano, ojja zaala akaana nga kalema. Tubeera no nga tukulaba n'akaanako. Ng'osasulira bibi bya mumwagwo. Muvumya President Museveni, entebe gy'atuddemu erimu bakabaka. Muba muvuma all the leaders behind him. Ate Abaganda temuyiga obwongo bunafu. You keep continuing. Bobi Wine osimira baana bo bunnya. Abaana bo nze tunuulira ssuubi ne neewuunya Katonda. Nze ntunuulira Mbogo ne ngamba maama. Ne ngamba bazaala omwana nga Mbogo ng'alina amagezi nga Mbogo oba teweesiimye. Bobi Wine by'otaalaba abaana bo babirabye. Naye babirabye batya. Which kind of world have you introduced to your children? Me, I will help you, Bobi Wine. Because likola sente, linyalo likola sente, banno babere no gamba atakogerako. Bobi Wine otamogerako mukwano nze nkuyamba, oleme kufa kati. I am increasing your age kubanga tata ote yakulera. Ne mama obafa mangu. No gena no fuka ghetto youth. You have represented that ghetto youth, but you're doing it the wrong way. Zekanguyambe. I know you're watching me. Kubanga obere yo no sekana gakana ka tabu sekana. Muli nayo gye mutula gye mumanyi okunnumbira nga mwekwese mu namba z'abalala. Onsindikidde abantu several times will be wine. That's not how it works. Come clean if you want to talk to me. That's not how it works. If you are the leader that you think you are, ebintu by'okula bisala bise bya ghetto youth biveemu. Omukulu Haj Ashraf semogerere yakugamba oyo abeera eringa wa jjajja wange. He knows me very well. Nakuwandiikira ebbaluwa. Ffenna twagisoma. He's a good writer. Twatwalanga ye twagendanga ewa Haj Ashraf ne tujjayo ebikuta nga tusala obukuta bw'enkoko. Mukwano, nze siri wa lubu lwammwe. Nze siri wa kirasi yammwe. Jajja atutumanga nti mugende wa Haji muleete obukuta. Olumu Haji nga tumulaba nga ayita nga tubeera eno nga tuseka. Eri ku kyalo munanga wa Haji eno ku TV abamu byakiyaayi. Because it's their life. Mwe bajja ssente ziwerera abaana baabwe. Yakuwandiikira. Nakugamba Bobi Wine, we love you. And what you're doing is very good. But you cannot take the ghetto to the state house. You have to separate the two. Munange, Bobi Wine weddira Mbogo. Embogo yetwala abanene wa Kabaka. Emamba etwala abanene wa Kabaka. Kati wakwata abateesobola bonna n'obatwalira President Museveni mukwano weebale tusiima n'oba mutwalira n'abalaba ba President azibayisa weebale munange weebale nze nkwebaza oli wa kitalo nga bwe weerowoozaako bonna be watwalayo baagala ntebe waiso ayogera wati nakakasa Museveni nkyokka nagambu yatwogerera bw'osanga Jowero baabakuza tebalina mpisa kubanga Bobi Wine tewalerebwa ng'omwana weerera wekka oli munaku kaama keerandiza kokka ate ekikyo kibuli olina obikatatu obeere wa kitalo bwesoma mu Leviticus 3 zabeeranga zakulamba nte ereme kubula amatu mugawumudde kubanga muli nte ereme okubula ente y'omukulu obuzibu bwe mulina temusoma Bayibuli kubanga nze tunuulira Kampala Solomoni nze ndaba maanyi mulaba ngadduka mwagamba bamuwaayiriza ennamiryango nti tanywa njaga when you try out some things because kibeera mu musaayi tata waba wa kitalo naye munnanga abaana n'omala wafa kati nze nnwanirira oleme kufa kubanga bagenda gamba Museveni yakusse era omusaayi gudde ku ntebe y'abakabaka gutuule gumamirire bwe guti Bobi Wine abaana b'abendi bafudde because of you ogwo omusaayi ogenda gudda wa owayiriza President mu mateeka g'omukulembeze emmotoka zidduka ku luguudo okwata otya ku ddabo cabin obako mwana amateeka ewammwe environmental impact assessment temwamusoma mwasoma lo lo yekagwa mumanyi nti ge mateeka oyo justice kubanga Nema bwegaana justice nga mukwatamu yasembayo ye last card naye Nema wamwerabira abaana ne balyoka bagenda nga bayimba si gwosoose kugwa abeesija abaana baafa abeesija neyetikka omusaayi kugwa Sebagala abaana baafa Sebagala neyetikka omusaayi Sebagala aliruddawa naawe n'okikomyawo history repeats itself ate kati gwe wakikomyawo mu nkuba nga eri special kubanga oli muto music bajja kuwuliriza the entire globe. Let me tell you something, Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi aka Kyagulanyi oba Kyagulanyi Sentamu aka Bobi Wine yeah. We love the youth, but the seat you're fighting for belonged to my grandfather. It was his turn, and after him I follow suit. But because parents love to fight, they stole the seat and gave it to the father of the current king. He was 15 years at a time. My grandfather was 5 years. Let me help you, Bobi Wine, because he used that earliest blogger in Turkey. And I want him to stop talking about me. He has no right. He has no copyright. I warned you, the noob so-called circle, because you will die for nothing. I told you. I was hiding. I can't hide anymore. If you think that you have the power, ask what happened in Florida. If you think that you have the power, Bobi Wine, the power you carry, those in the US, those in Sweden, all the big singers, you know, they sell their souls to the devil. Chameleon did that, and is paying the price because of what she has done in your life. You went to the church. Ekintu kyo kiruke bulungi. Toli musiru. Bokgenda okwana babi. Wabyogedde. Wali toyinza kikkiriza. N'ofuna omuwala eyalokoka. N'ofuna omuwala omunyankole kubanga omunyankole yatudde mu ntebe. Mukwano Bobi toli musiru. Ekintu kyo wakiruka bulungi. But because mwagala sente mwagala kubeera abanene, omusiru n'akusanga. Nakutuuza. Yabatuuza several boys because they've wanted Uganda for so long. The United States of America wanted Uganda for so long. Because when the kings died, now presidents came in the picture, because they cannot attack kings. They know the power kingdoms come with. That's why the UK is protected. You cannot just come and walk in the king's land, in the queen's land the way you want. Now they have a king. After how many years? Why is the UK having a king after how many years? The current king is very old. Why? Because the girl could sit on that seat. Her mother recognized us. And they changed the wing to girls and brought the presidency. Because girls can. They came to Uganda. They saw my great-grandmother. For them, they read. For us, we don't want to read. Bobby Wine, you want that seat. You're going to work hard. You're going to work for 40 years. Sweetheart, the years I have are the years you're going to work for. If you want that seat. Hope you can handle. Because you don't know what I have done. Single-handedly. If you really want that seat, you're going to work for 40 years in the wilderness. Do you know Nebuchadnezzar? You want that seat. Whoever wants that seat, you're going to work for 40 years. In the wilderness. That is why your kids are in America. It's called the wilderness. You're going to work with your wife. You started it. You're going to test the test of your own medicine. Your kids are going to work. Do you know slaves? Woo, 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 woo. You're going to work. I have worked my whole life. You're going to work, Bobby Wine. Bobby Chagulanyi abused the president's wife. You come from the same regions. You speak the same language. You want the seat. That's Bobby, you were saved, sanctified with the Holy Ghost. You decided to go with Bobby. That's what a girl when you get married. A man is supposed to come and pick you from your father's house. Did Bobby Wine do that? He first impregnated you. You're not a virgin. Sorry, but you, Bobby Wine Mukatuliki, Virgin Mary. Hata ina jajawe musira. My mother's side, the judge's side, Bakatuliki, Bamukomba Mudali, Ekitiibwa kibera mu Lubaga Cathedral. My grandfather, the late Ladi Musoke. Ask those who know him. Eringe wa omukulu sekandi. Ladi Musoke nga Tanzania. He found the mother to my mother Mubasi. Nga alina the biggest printery on Nasser Road je mugenda ne mobile ebintu. Nababoni nga nemba gamba ku Nasser Road je mugenda mwegendereze. Fe tuli ba kitalo. My mother is a sprinter. When her father would beat Nebakazibe, my mother would run and she goes to her grandmother's place. Area Waloni Mugwanya. Aloni Mugwanya works with Gaga Hayamba abana yasomera ku Makai. Aloni wakube ngoma togoba. Bobby Wine we wana anti okube ngoma. Ngoma gisobola. Can you sing and dance at the same time? Ate nokola drama. Bakuwane makerere. Mukwano. Fe tuli ba drama queen and kings. Alex Mukuru yabawoninga. My dad is 68. Namasagali emutia. Chibuli etya tata wange. Mukwano. Mengo. Babuze who I am. Gende chiteli Dan boarding primary school babuze. I don't ride on my father's back or mother. I don't ride on the history of the family. We work our way to the top. Genda munasere yange. The Ebons are celebrating 47 years in the drama. I am 40 years now. I attended Jim Cart. It was Jimmy Katumba. Naimbanga. Omanyabo wane bawe ebirabo. I am just 40 or 44. You're 44 or 42? Byonna kyonna gye kiri nakulekera message yo ku birthday yo tewevers. Nali kutwala ku level ya 100 years and above. Kubanga mwange yakuwanga yakusuubiza okufa. Kubanga yanyiga. Ne musonga mu ne mugamba sebo yani nakibinge jajja byakoze bikyasi nakibinge. Eyo gye wagenda ne bakuwa enkoko yanyiga. Nti akuwanga atya muzukulu wa mwanga akuwanga atya nodduka n'ogenda nodda atembo ogenda mu kkanisa ate nga ye yakola ebintu n'akwabya toyagala okulabisa yakwabye eri ku YouTube ne buchano babujjako because emzimu gyamutulangako ne musunulira ne musonga mbwenzi ne mugamba mukwano oyagala Bobi Wine afe bwati bwe yakolanga abo bonna be mwakola nabo be yabatanga ne muwayiza President Museveni because he was getting back at you because of your stupidity. Mugenda mutya musabo ne Museveni agenda musabo gwa Museveni you're half his age. Oba yagenda musaba agende gwolese eki ku mmeeza sebo. Kati twogeraganya n'abakulembeze. Nze ndi mukulembeze obulamu bwange bwonna. Tomanyi kyenkoze. Tomanyi tofaali gye ntadde ku ggwanga gw'otaddeko ki. Olesa abana ba ghetto youth. N'oleta ababbi, abanyi b'enjaga bonna n'oba employinga. Nkulabo bawadde emirimu. Nkulabo basomesa. Ovuma bavume nakubalangira nakubagobesa mu bigurupu. Bwe bongo obunafu kasito kula na tata na mama byennaku jogenda okulaba. Naye ate nga golina abaana. Olina twagala suubi. Bannange nga twagala suubi. Suubi addamu ebibuuzo and you get mesmerized. Mbogo bw'ayogera Mbogo alinganga ali mu shadow naye Mbogo si shadow. Mbogo is his father. But me I want not the father Kyagulanyi. Okay, I want the Kyagulanyi. I don't want the Bobi Wine in Mbogo. Solomon Kampala yatwala Bobi Wine. Mbogo is Kyagulanyi Sentamu. Solomon Kampala is Bobi Wine, unfortunately. Kati Subi. Subi is none of the above. Subi is different. I sent you the messages for your kids. You think it's a joke. Find out after 10 years from now. I am training your own kids by teaching you Kyagulanyi. Mbogo is going to be a leader no one has ever seen. The way no one has ever seen me. But he's not going to do what you have done. Because he's not you. He's not a Bobi Wine. He's a Sentamu. It's a legacy. Unfortunately, you have to. And Solomon took your Bobi Wine levels. Because he gave go. Bible ye baita manyi ba first born. Oba mwala tuli kubalenzi. Oyo mwala muleke acheyiya. Oyo mwala wacheyiya omukulu. Mulabanga abona. Ate musabire kubanga gena sanga omusiru amutikko olubuto nga time tennatuuka. Ate oyo musiru tugenda mukubachiwo kamala afunisa omwala oyo olubuto nga tanneetuuka. Kansubire gwe sebo omukulu Sentamu abaana bombeerera. Oyo Solomon mbeerera. Obande ekanira eri. Abaana b'abakulu twala. Nze njagala Suubi n'Embogo because amanyi go gigatudde. Nze ntula butuuzi wano nga mpanga mwana wo nga muteekamu nga muwanika. Naye kasita muwanika najja ne Bobi Wine nga mussa. Buuze kyatuuka kalungi Shiba. She just met me and stood next to me like this. Ne mutandika omuyita Queen Kama. Ne ngamba. Nakola ensobi n'agende UK n'atukunamira. Bamama ne bawolereza. Abasajja mukwata abaana. Ne ngamba are you sure waliyo? N'alyoka atuvuma ku Instagram. Kati ye multiplying ze yazadde mwana mulenzi. Ne ngamba otyo. Kama. Omwana yamutumye mpozi linnya ki? Girls, you want to be a mother? Do it the right way. I don't care how the child is given birth to. Kubanga ebya Yesu byali bidiramuko. Nze nina wingi gyenzigadde gye sigula. Abagimanyi bagimanyi. Because I give respect where it is due. Nze nkubikulirako by'olina okumanya. Byewetaaga byoteetaaga sibikuwa byange. Ne bwokebera otya ne bwogenda mu ssabo ne bali bikula. Olaba n'essabo nabula. Jjajjange bwe yafa ne bagamba empologoma ebuze. Bw'oba oyagalanga okweka legasi egiteeke mwana omuwala Kyagulanyi. Legasi wagiteeka mu Solomon. N'obonaabona. Legasi yo eya Sentamu. It is Mbogo and Suubi. But God looks like he's ignored. And God decided to put the leader center. He's short. Why is he short? I want you to look at him 10 years from now. And I want you to study him. Instead of shouting Bojako Museveni, I want you to study your own children before you go to your grave. But if you want your tombstone ogisembeze, yongera kuvuma Museveni. Ekyo nkulabuddeko bulabuzi. Nkulabuddeko nga lidda munnange. Bwe manjogera ne ba leaders bakapere ba subject bakoze bakwa ujumula bano bamudibo bamulebese manyo omulebesi alebeta omugagga abo badde bali abo bamulebesi bo boyita nabo abagenda okulyamu olukoto time you don't need it. Abo bamulebesi bakulyamu ddolu ko tebagala kumanya kwanga nabo banako ewaabo ate baavu. Kati njogera naawe sebo president wa baki w'abantu Museveni wansolo. Unfortunately, he's the sitting president. That seat can't be given out until the blood in the seat is cleaned. Because whoever sits in that blood, in that seat, abanga anywe ekintu ekiri mu ntebe. Kati kyo kitambula ne kigenda nga kitambula ne kiyita mu parliament ne kiyita mu ba ministers ne betta bokka. Mwene mugamba kyavudde wa Museveni. Nze mbeere eno nga nsirise nga ngamba bagambye ani yasaani maama Namboze. As a teacher and as a mama who has been around for years, you've gone around the clock, the sun, how many routes? Because mama, you know kubanga oli myaka nkaaga, you should be knowing the history of Uganda very well. Unfortunately, the history I have, you don't have. Because now it's 1800s. Okujjako ng'obadde around the circles of the elite. Naye ngeri tino circles abakabaka muzitya. Katikiro muvuma ne katikiro ayina byatamanyi naye ayina okola omulimu gwe bwe mulaba kati nga avuddeyo kyamulya because they've been looking for me for 60 years. When you don't have the jurisdiction, please don't cross the lines. Okitegedde gwe yani gravity ekigambo gravity omanyi kyekitegeeza tewasoma oli munaku bambi nedda gravity ddayo osome suna beni muddeyo ku musomero musome sebo yani oli omulala yagwa liri yani pazo oba palaso bannange mugende musome mukozesa ebigambo nga mbitegeera oluzungu n'oluganda lujja bakuba emiggo sigenda kubataasanze nabasindikira akaka kati muliya mutunyumiza ne twagala ebyo muli ba entertainers muli ba content creators. Our lives are not your content. Thank you plenty. Esther gonna come back jani akulaba see baby. Them Psalms, no Isaiah 43, and we went to Jeremiah. We wanted Jeremiah 16, but I told you are going back to Jeremiah 15 to learn what happened and from where and how. Leaders in the opposition and leaders in the ruling party, if you don't walk right with the Lord, and your job is to shout, disrespect each other while we are watching, you're going to go to the wilderness for 40 years. I have released the word. It is a word. Watch your backs. Isaiah or Jeremiah. You call yourselves saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Okay. You run to Pastor Robert to do what? You run to Bishop Shadza to do what? You run to Pastor Bugembe to do what? You run to Fanero, you run to wherever. Abakozi bebibi bonna batagala bagambako. Bonna bakola ebibi bagenda wa Lubega kubanga Lubega yategeera abayina ebibi. Anti Yesu yajirira abayina bibi. Lubega yagenda mu ssabo. Lubega ne yeebaka n'abaana mu kkanisa eri ku Christ Heart. Onoonya mbeerera ng'oyagala amaanyi. Sitaani bw'atyo bw'akola. Mwene mbera mufanero mwagala ennamba naye nga quality akuna. Katonda ayagala kuyamba Lubega naye Lubega bw'atakkiriza ekkola Katonda kyayagala buli ali mu Phaneroo. It's called Phaneroo. The man behind Phaneroo is called Bishop Isaiah Mbulga. It is not Lubega Grace Apostle. Mwegendereze muntu mugambe ndaga taatawo w'omwoyo. Bishop Duncan Williams has been teaching that. He's the father to Doug, Bishop Doug. I know Worship Harvest loves Bishop Doug. Reading Bishop Doug's books, Seven Apostle Mukisa Grace, Apostle Mukisa Moses. Reading the books of Bishop Doug does not qualify you. You used money to get something from Pastor Robert. You don't qualify, my friends. Bishop Duncan Williams, I told in the 4 years who to watch. I will repost those things again. You talked about Bishop Doug, Duncan Williams, Nevamu Sunsura, Nevamu Kuba, Nevamu. I just laughed. And yesterday the Lord reminded me and told me, Esther, I want you to bring back the names of the men I told you that people should watch in the season as a must. Because they did not watch them. And in the season, we went back to the season 20. You think you're in 24? No, my friends. Because of disobedience, we went back. Uganda, the rate at which you're dying, we are back in 2020, and it has ignited in a special way. Let me hope you're ready to die. Because it is ignited by you yourselves. And US has ignited it the more through the AI, artificial intelligence. You want to do trade? Please go trade. But I'm not part of it. I want to earn my money. I want to eat little. There are things the Lord told me not to do. I obey instructions. You thought Mark Mazumbaka was bad. But the artificial intelligence, a kid died because of the artificial intelligence, the AI. Because he thought he was with someone who is physical. You thought Mark Mazumbaka was bad. Now the AI is on another level. Involve the AI in your things. Hey. It tells you you're beautiful, you're tired, you can rest. Do you know what that means? They don't love you. For us, we love you. They are going to use anything to attack. Because the one world order is already in the move. 666 is already in the play. Lukaga and Kagamukaga, just read about it in the Bible. My friend, we are in the last days. The US is paying for their mistakes. At a time, they need to be high. The Lord demoted the US like this. Because they said in God we trust. And God looks for the trust. He cannot see the trust. So the devil is like, okay, let us approve everything. Sorry. Because we don't have passion and compassion. Now they're using the AI to show us how much they love us. And you know what the AI does? It hides in the pride. I told you don't touch anything that belongs to me. Because what happened to Florida can be repeated. I warn people at work. Don't blame me for things I did not do. You don't know me. You're trying to find out who I am and you're pushing it. You're pushing me to the wall. My friends, I can go through the wall. You don't know me. I've been there before. You said that my health is not important. My father is not important. You don't know me. The most important thing, the most important human being in my life is my dad and my mom. Because without My mom, my father can't be a father. Those two are very important to my life. God gave me the responsibility of my father when I was 20. I had failed my geology paper in my first year. And the man in the records department told me I can pay money and the retake disappears. I don't believe in such things. I went back and I did my paper again. I looked like a mediocre in school because God was hiding the power I carry. I'm not a mediocre. It is either I'm number one or I'm nothing. That's how it works. That's why I step aside. Many want to be my friends, but they just want to tap in and destroy me. I am better off alone. My husband understands. Some of you have approached my siblings and you want to destroy us because they never wanted Kalibala to rise up anywhere. Because we carry what it takes to be leaders. My sister was part of the team. Babi Wine Kankuyambe. Twakolera Uganda Engoza Olympics 2016 and 2018. We worked with Kasule Raphael. Don't touch Kasule Raphael. He belongs to the elite. He belongs to kings. He's from the royal family through his grandmother, the mother to his mother. Ekyakutwale wa Bishop Chaze. You knew what you were doing because of wali oyingidde mu Buganda oyina engeri gye wayavula wood. Kyekakutwalako Omega naye wali togenzeeyo bya ddala. Manyi Kasule akwagala nnyo. Kasule Mukama yamuwoninga namugamba amaanyi genkuwadde agali mu design gegendereze bw'okola ebikyamu owedde era buli lwe yatungiranga engoye zaayonoonanga Kasule n'abonaabona n'afuna ebizibu buli kimu ne kyonooneka. I had to come in because I'm rescue 911. Kasule knows better. Time ya Kasule bwe yatuuka ey'okuwasa, it was a difficult moment. You have no idea what he's been through as a young man. Gwokozesa bukozesa baana b'abendi. Kasule got a pain eri ku mutima. We stood in the gap because we understand the king they carry. Omuwala gwe yasooka okuwasa n'atulinnyirira. Namulabanga bwenti. I have a photo with Kasule. I will repost it. On his birthday, when I was a city mind here, he was a myaka. Kasule kalani, omuwala yamugamba mbye byotunga ebyo byokola temuliimu kintu. Nengamba kati mu mwakwana abaana b'abendi girls, you kwana the boys. Oba tuyagala kyakola, that is his work. Ekya Kasule Katonda yakimuwa. Fewa fe okutunga kiri mu musaayi, it's in the bloodline. Because I know Bobby Chagulanyi has that thing for the women. Babagulira sewing machines. Mukwane ebyaffe mama wange bamuwa ekyalaani as a present at her wedding. Because all my grandmothers, all of them, the ones I know, I sent out a message, Buza Najua. I know all my grandmothers. Abakyala bambala engoye nnyingi. Omanyi lwaki bambala engoye nnyingi? Mikululo. Kubanga ffe tuzaala. Ffe tulina uterus. Kasule yatwala ekintu nga kiva mu bajjajja b'abakyala. Tekyava wa taata we. Musumba Kyazze n'amulera. Because muganda wa maama we. Katonda ye yamuwa ekyokutunga engoye. It's a gift. But remember, a woman was fashioned and designed from a bone, your rib. If Bobby Chagulanyi is your rib, nga bw'otugamba. She was designed. You were sleeping, mukwano. Wamusanga ye webas. twawulidde engeri gy'osanga mu bbabi twabiwulira dda wamulumba. Girls, be careful nga muli mu kanisa and you walk and go with that man. Nze ngenda kubayamba. Nze I told my friends, bw'oba tuyagala kusoma Bible, bw'oba tuyagala kusiiba, nze nga njagala omusajja alina certain qualities like my father, my husband. When I came to the US, I came on the 18th. His mother died on the 16th of June. On the 17th of June, she was buried. On the 18th of June, I left Uganda, 2016. He never buried his mother. You think it's a coincidence? Me, I don't move with luck. I am a blessed child. I am not lucky. Sigwa mu bigwe. Nti nazanye zala nedda mkwano. I influence the 7 spheres of the earth. You only influence one, Bobby Wine. Only one. Only one. That is entertainment. That is celebration. Only one. Omuli music, dance and drama. It is MDD. You don't influence anything apart from that. Because the government you've started is another crumbling. The leader in you lacks a lot of things. The leader in you is a destroyer. I don't work well with destroyers. Now I am bringing down the leader in you, and I'm raising the right leader. I am bringing down the leader, Bobby Wine, and I'm raising the leader, Sentamu Kyagulanyi, because I have the power to do that, which you don't have. Because when the leader, Sentamu, gets back online, I will go to my grave happy that I have invested in Suwi, I have invested in Mbogo. You can have Solomon and your daughter Abakulu. Sibagala. Njagala abato. Bible yagamba nti muleka abaana abato bajje gyendi kubanga bali bakulu. Muleka abaana abato bajje gyendi kubanga obwakabaka bw'omugulu bwebwawe Bible bwegamba. Bali bawulira abakulu tebabagambako. Naye Suubi n'Embogo bakyali mu level y'okubabuulirira. Bali bwe batoli mu Nuupu tolina ky'obagamba. I always see them on their small channels nga beeraga. Nengamba kansigale ne Suubi, kyekyo lwaki Suubi n'Embogo bakyabeera naaweeka. Nze nga mpalampa Alpha mwagaza ati. Mpalampa ebbeta bankube. Enderi wansi bano omuzindalo nga muwala mpanze. Mbako n'ekikyamu. Beta muwalampe mbako beta ayagala ebitabo nze nga nakutambuliza kamera mu room yango jaggweeryo gambe tufudde ekitiibwa. Ask my mom. Nze nebaka n'ebitabo. I do it just for I volunteer in the library here. I've done it since 2017. I pick books that are strange. I love books. So when I love a better angalonde ebitabo nasekerera mama zu ne mugamba mukwano mukulukute. Zuwena is a relative to Pastor Jessica Kayanja. They love books. I love books. And Mama Kayanja comes from the lawyers. But who was our Monache Mumulavanga Vera Kututinga? Omoyo Mutukuvu is a lawyer. He's a judge. He's an advocate. Mama Kayanja bakubisa nnugu kubanga temusoma Bible. Munego omukazi yawakula entalo nedda tawakula ntalo. Tiyagenda eri musi yagenda kola lo Master Robert yamujjayo n'amuleeta eno n'amuwalula. Agamba kale Kayanja kankugoberere musajja gw'omunaku atasoma. Watabani wa Reverend tugende kale yakuwalula the lawyer in us mabulijjo temukimanyi obwongo bunafu bumenya bigere. Pastor Robert is not a pastor, he's an evangelist. Miracle Center Cathedral is crusade lifestyle. Yeah, alimu emergency room. Abarodde bajjaawo ne babanyiga ebiwundu balina okuba with all the facilities kati gwe bakoppe ng'ate oli aposo giba migo. Aposo oli mutandisi nze wesanga aposo nga yakulira ekkanisa nziruka misinde ngamba apaana. They don't have a pastor. Wesanga evangelist nga bagamba nti ali mu kkanisa nga talina pastor mpeta buwesi ngamba apaana. Most of the churches owulira nga zigamba Ministries International. Buli apostle alina Ministries International. Buli evangelist alina Ministries International. Kabawa Redeemed can't be a Ministries International. No. Bwesanga omuntu nga mukadde wa kanisa nga alina ekkanisa mpeta buwesi nangamba muzeeyi eyo Ministries International. All bishops have Ministries International. Kabawa is not Ministries International. It is the new Kabawa Redeemed Church of Christ. Nze bwensanga missionary nga alina Ministries International. Sirekana. Pastor Gary Skinner is a missionary. But they needed a house. That is Watoto. And all what they do, because he needed to have a house. But Watoto is my church. Watoto is not your church. You come where? Watoto. They are months. Watoto is not a church. It's a ministry. It's a missionary. They raise kids who have no parents. When you find a church and it has Ministries International, it is the government. I get it to you, man. Welcome to the club. Pastor Robert is not a pastor. Every time he comes out like this, it is a crusade time. But when his wife comes out, when Pastor Arthur Samba comes when Rubama comes out, when Makoko comes out, that is in ministries, please. Those are crusades. That is the team. Mwina AI. That is the team. Artificial intelligence. Awula mubonye. Kati nze mbasomesa ebintu byammwe. Jesus. It is Pastor Jessica Kayanja. Then it becomes a church. Era bw'omulaba ng'alimiridde ku kituuti. Tuba tugenze mu church. Eba time ya church, ya fellowship. Tubeerawo mu fellowship. Your wife is a pastor. Esther, my wife, who? That you know she's a pastor's wife. Hence she's a Nedam Kwan. That doesn't work like that. The Lord called Pastor Jessica to be a pastor. When she found out who she is, that's why you see her. Pastor Robert Amulese, she's a businesswoman, by the way. She misses that part so much. Because she wanted to be that. She went to school. She's a omuzungu aliyo kubayamba twabimanyira omuzungu ajja kubayamba paka Yesu mwalidda mujazisa sente musanga. But when because an evangelist you need resources. As an evangelist you need resources to go preach the word. Yes, you tell you resources. Ati Yesu apostle. Atonda wange. Obakati mbayambe ntya. Yesu apostle. Anaiba apostle mutswaziza. Ba apostle apana. Yesu ye mutandisi w'ekintu. Apostle apana. Bishop. Bishop apana. Apostle. Yesu ye teacher. Then they would sit and listen to the Yes, why would you gamba evangelist? All of them are supposed to go and evangelize. But those who are called as evangelists, It is something else. You have to work with the miracle. The evangelist, how do you preach the word? Billy Graham was one of the biggest evangelists the world has ever seen. But you're all evangelists. T.L. Osborne was an evangelist. But you must have a gift. Billy Graham would just preach. He was a Baptist. Baptists don't believe in miracles. They just baptize. The miracles is not their thing. The challenge is where you see in America, you know, Catherine Coleman is my... Do you know who Catherine Coleman is? If you know who your father is, then you'll know who Catherine Coleman is. I read all the books. My dad used to have such books. Someone borrowed this book because my dad has a memory loss. The pastor who took this book was Abraham Sumba we wanted that book back because these books no longer come out. Kanunakagulako thrift store. All the Chiwempe movement men have read this book before. The 7 great prayer warriors. Colin Whitaker, George Murrah, Hudson Taylor, Charles Finney, David Brainerd, Madame Gwynne, Praying Heidi, and Rhys Howells. Then we have Smith Wigglesworth. I have a book here. Someone gave it to me as a present, but I had already read about Smith Wigglesworth. My dad has all the books. The biggest evangelist who is a role model to my dad is Billy Graham. I told the Lord, don't take that man before I see him. By the time I came to the US, he was already, they said no more seeing him because he had Parkinson. And his oldest daughter, Ruth used to read for her dad. She's the one who carries Billy Graham like this. It's not the president. The evangelist in Billy Graham is with Ruth. But the big boy is the president for Billy Graham Ministries. But Ruth carried her father's mantle. The mantle is different. Okay, you can listen to Bishop Duncan Williams because you respect him. But he's younger than my father. His father comes from a different line. They come from Ghana. That's why you found on my page, I pushed him there. Because the Lord told me to go back in 2020 and I'll pick the men he told me that we should watch. But they changed the ranks. Forgive me, I'm having trouble with my... The fact that your father's read this book, your father is way younger when it comes to salvation. Your father is way younger when it comes to ministry. And your father claims to have served the Lord for 40 years. And they claim to have been saved for 30 years. But your father's been saved for only 1 year. Because there is no purity in his life. It's the grace of God that helps them carry around. It's a gift when they pray for you. It's a gift. The men who are walking right with the Lord are very few on Nam. And most of them tell you that when they were younger, they would force miracles. My dad did not pray for people the way you guys pray. And someone falls the other side. My dad just sat in the judge's seat. The high priest. He was ordained by elders. Don't forget that part. In Bugembe, in Busoga. Why Busoga? Because his mother, his grandmother. The Lord wanted my dad to be, the things to be done that said because Uganda rejected us. Because of a government. And 60 years later, the Lord remembers the house. But it started in 2010. But it started revolving. in 1985 when they gave birth in 1984. And when I made 1 year in 85, oh, a rebirth. And Tata had to make sure I am trained as the mantle I carry. Let me read for you something very fast. Brace yourself. On my discharge from the Royal Army Medical Corps in 1947, after 3.5 years of national service, this book was written by Colin Whitaker. He was writing about George Moore, Hudson Taylor, Charles Finney, David Brandon, Brainerd, and Madame Gwynne, Praying Heidi, and Reese Howells. They are the 7 great prayer warriors. Why 7? Kawa Redeemed had 7 old women who raised my parents in church and also raised us. And one of them, Davis, was in the hospital to receive me when my mother pushed me out. She made sure that I get the right. That is why I'm here today. When I got out of my mother's womb like this, the devil was like, good. I've been waiting for you, Kanak, but because inside your mother's womb, we could not touch you. Because your mother decided to go and give her life to Christ. Yet for us, we are not saved. Things came crawling from my mother's side. I had an allergy. Woo! For the skin. My mother got a dream. She was seeing babies in my age range. They were wearing white, walking to heaven. I was the last one behind. I was naked and they had bound me with ropes. The ropes had entered my skin. The moment my mother gave birth to me like this in Zambia hospital, Mukwano, alien skin. What is your real name? What you did in Zambia was not right. Whoever sent you to do what you did in Zambia will pay for that price with his legacy. If you ate money to do what you did in Zambia, you're going to pay. You and the one who gave you money, they are going to pay. That hospital belongs to the elite. You don't have money, don't go there. Go to Mulago. Whoever sent you alien skin, everyone is going to pay for their own mistakes. You're not going to blame it on anyone else. If it's the president of Uganda that gave you money to do what you did, no, kids are not going to pay for the mistakes of ministers. The president of Uganda, Bobby Chagulanyi, the president who have one noob, or your president one noob. National unity problem. It is not national unity platform. It is national unity problem. And it wasn't his idea. Anti wakola MDD munango no sonyi wa musiru dala. You're just an entertainer. Nze nkwagala. Nze bwemba sikwagala sikwogera kuteba kulya bino. Nze nkwagala. Abo bakapere baba ozambu no buli omu alinyira kugwe mukwano. Nze gwoliko ndi UV line. Wokwatira kugaba masanyalazi nga gava straight from the dam. Nga tebagasengeze. Amasengeje mugamanyi. Nze sibera ku masengeje. I warned you when before I came home. I told you I don't sit on those stupid TV stations of yours. Temu trainees by journalists wamu. How was I was a VHC? Ngamba yiyi bana abana bagenda mu kati wombo akali. Abasajja nga ba Ashraf Samogere balina okukola interviews. abasajja nga the late Sunday, abasajja nga yani ono